going on, Chad?
What's up, Ryan?
Happy Sunday to you. I feel like I've been down in this room all weekend.
I didn't
Not
know
a complaint.
I didn't know it was sunglasses time. Ugh.
No, it's okay. I don't know what I'm doing. You don't. Tuffy? No? Okay.
No.
How are you?
I am stellar, my friend. I'm wearing my KB Jodographs t-shirt. Gotta represent
Cool.
good people. How are you? What are you up to? What's new? What's going on?
Buying crap. Putting my collection back together. I had to do some work inside this wall back here.
Ooh, really?
Yeah. Plumbing. Bathroom's on the other side of that wall. So, yeah. You know, getting rid of stuff. I filled some totes with stuff for the next toy show to sell off.
Oh.
Got in a big box of Aliverse.
Did you?
It's snowing here today. So, yeah.
So you're having a killer time. Aside from the plumbing thing. Everything else sounds great.
Yeah, it's, old pipes. I had to replace some old pipes, so it's all good.
So what you would say is you were busy laying pipe this weekend.
That's right, baby.
Waiting for it. You got that Stream Deck. You just hit that shit.
It's right there. Yep, love it.
Yeah, no. The one thing I wish about StreamYard is that you could pop out the media asset controls.
Me too.
And have it like separate. That would be rad because I have to click like 6 buttons,
I know. They have to make that a feature, especially with what they charge now.
Yeah. 6 buttons just for this.
It's science, people! Science!
Yeah.
Now,
It takes a second.
Is that's acting, right? That's like performative art.
No, it's fake. Yeah, it's totally fake. Yeah.
Okay.
So that guy, he's I want to say he's a YouTuber or he's like a Twitch guy or a TikToker. And he went to his city council, ridiculously done up and just went nuts. So the song that I played on the members pregame, that whole speech he gives is fake.
So that's like Alex Stein, who goes to his Dallas city council and he'll like rip his shirt off and he'll make up fake rap songs and yeah. Okay, I get it. That's funny. I like that stuff. It's great.
Yeah. Hal Jordan misses the last scream. The super high pitched one. I don't know. I'm good with it one way or the other, Mr. Jordan, but the majority did not like it. Medieval Alchemist is here. Good to see you. Mother Slug's here. We got a lot of good people hanging out with us.
Oh yeah.
There's some crazy times going on, dude. I mean, aside from the fact that you had to lay pipe all weekend.
Yeah. What's crazy? Like Toy World Real World has been crazy for like 15 years.
Yeah. The real world's going to keep on spinning no matter what. I don't care about what the news says. I don't care what the media says. I wake up every morning, the sun's still shining. I'm fine. Like I don't do the whole casualty vampire thing, where everybody's freaking out about something. Crystal Clear, what's up, man? Good to see you.
Chad is so sensitive. 6 buttons.
Yeah. It's rough, dude. It's rough in them streets. Yeah. Anyway, I don't worry about all that stuff, but I would like to see the price of some things come down. We're not going to get into that, but the toy world's kind of going a little wacky.
Seems like it.
Really, only in regard to boys' toys, action figures, certain lines. I mean, Masters is still kicking along.
Well, there's all this talk about Hasbro not making toys anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think Hasbro will ever be 100% out of the toy making business?
Do I know?
No, neither do I.
I think really don't.
I think the narrative has gone too far one way. Like Hasbro's only going to make video games. I don't think so. And
here's the thing with gaming, not to interrupt you, with gaming, they're not talking about specifically like we're gonna come up with like a first-person shooter to compete with like Call of Duty or Battlefield. They're talking about like Monopoly Go and that kind of stuff. Like that's what they're
Yeah.
talking.
Mobile stuff like that. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Crap.
Yeah.
Crap that makes money. Yeah.
Crap. Mega crap. I have that
Yeah.
somewhere. Let me see if I can find it. Do I still have it?
Crap. Mega crap.
No, I got rid of it. I got rid of it because I never used it. So you get a lot of assets.
I know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mike Joseph says Magic and D&D. Yeah, that's gaming as well, but
Yep.
they're not talking about we're gonna go compete with EA and those companies like that. They're talking.
Well,
about
I mean,
other stuff.
they have said digital gaming, so that
Yeah.
I think it'll be a little bit of everything. But yeah, like you said, the Monopoly, mobile type games, and of course the physical board games and card games, Magic and D&D, and all
Mhm.
that.
Yeah. Jeffy says, I really hope they leave both Magic and D&D alone and let those leads just lead. I don't get down with either of those, so I kind of have no opinion.
Yeah. Me neither. I've never played Magic or D&D.
No. I think a lot of the challenge, let me remove this. I think a lot of the challenge is that they bought E1 for a lot of money. They didn't really do too much with it. They sold it off. They fired a bunch of people. They made some other weird decisions. They fired a bunch of people. All the while we're renewing. And I'm not necessarily going to say much about Marvel because I know Legends, for the most part, it's viable, it's sustainable. But when you talk about the Disney part in regard to MCU, that's when they have to make, figures of the Eternals and the Marvels and the Peg Warmers, and look what's going on with Star Wars. Like this whole evergreen thing's not very green anymore,
Yeah.
So
I think
they got a lot of challenges with that.
Yeah.
Oh, and for you, Ryan, and everybody else hanging out with us tonight, I got a surprise coming up.
Oh boy.
When it's ready. When it's ready, you'll know. M. Vargo sends a $2 super chat that says super chat.
What the hell you say?
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you, Mr. Vargo. Appreciate you very much. I hope your puppies are doing well, as is your missus. Yeah. Chad's gonna lay his pipe out for all this. No,
not on YouTube.
No. What is this? Dark Side Phil? No, we're not doing that.
On the eventual only Chads. Yeah.
That's why my member streams are called Jolly Fans.
Mm-hmm.
You want to see that pipe, yo? Ew.
Which has a whole new meaning nowadays with the 1-to-1 scale robotic girlfriends that they're making in Japan.
Oh my lord, I know.
Talk about Dolly fans. Whew.
What is up with that? Anyway, so so this is the article from cybertron.com that everybody's kind of been going wackadoo over. 2025 will be a transformative year for Hasbro as they focus on games while producing less toys.
Less toys, not no toys.
Less toys, not no toys. Exactly. Yeah. Hasbro's undergoing a huge. I'm not going to, have people come here so I can read to them, but
why not? Do it.
Hasbro is undergoing a huge shift at the moment, and while it started in 2024, I don't want to use that voice. See a shift that happens this year in 2025. Chris Cox, Hasbro CEO, yeah, he came from Microsoft, right? And you can tell where his priorities lie. Has been diverting assets to video game development and publishing. That is a cutthroat fucking industry, man.
Mm-hmm.
Video gaming is cutthroat. Story time with Chad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Deep thoughts
with Jack Handy. That's where I modeled that voice from.
Totally, yeah. I got that right off the the jump. I loved it.
While Transformers won't be hit as hard with this shift. Notice it only says Transformers. And again, that's my beef with these fucks over at Hasbro, is that they love to talk about Transformers and Monopoly and not ever about the brand that saved them over and over again.
I mean,
Whoever's in charge of like their press releases, you can just hear they're like, don't talk about the war brand. Leave the war brand out of it.
that's true, but Transformers, when it hit the shelf in what, 83, 84? 84? It hasn't left retail since. Transformers has always had a presence. It's always been a good seller for them. G.I. Joe has come and gone. Now that's I don't know if it had to. They chose to do that. They chose to let Kenner make G.I. Joe Extreme in the late 90s and then put it to bed in the 2015s or whatever it was.
Yeah. Big M, channel member for 9 months. Thank you, my friend. Uses his Chad Chat trademark, It's Chad 2024, and says Transformers will always be saved by Takara. They technically own it. So,
and Mike Joseph said Transformers is huge globally, and that's true.
Right. And this has been a discussion that a lot of us have had over and over again. Giant talking robots transcends cultures more so than American elite military. Some cultures don't care for that, whereas they might care for giant talking robots.
Some cultures aren't super hot on America, right? They don't,
yeah.
So I mean, they don't call it. There's not a whole lot of American branding with G.I. Joe and Underclassified, right?
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah.
So, but still, all the nostalgia is mostly like here in the States, and then the Action Force fans are, original Action Force and Canada, Australia.
Yeah, I get the whole let's lean on Transformers more than Joe. I understand that, but Joe is theirs. And my argument has always been, if you want to transform your company, understand that, like, one, you're going into a very cutthroat industry. I'm sure he knows that. He came from Microsoft, but like Jedi Ben says, all the Microsoft crap, look at the health of the Xbox. And I'm an Xbox gamer, but I got to agree with that.
So I'm not a gamer. I didn't know Xbox was doing bad.
I don't think it's doing bad. It's just
PS5 and Nintendo are winning.
Yeah. And now the Switch 2 is coming out. So,
right.
So you're going into a more cutthroat industry, which also hasn't been doing that great. Black Ops 6, not the best reception. Games these days, they don't have a lot of positive word of mouth because everything is just put it out and we'll patch it. We'll fix it later. Like they always put out broken shit. The loot box thing has pretty much died down after, EA Star Wars Battlefront 2, not the good one, not Pandemic. That's the good one from 2005. But you have like that new Dragon Age Veilguard, that thing fucking bombed. All this shit going on with the new Assassin's Creed, that Sony game that they came out with, spent like $400 million on and then yanked it down. There's a lot of rough shit going on with video games. Jedi Ben says console part of Xbox is pretty much done. I'm not tracking that, but dude, my Series X is fast as shit. I love that console. Different strokes for different folks. I was never much of a PlayStation guy, so whatever. Yeah. Toy Gains. What's up, Gaines? Good to see you, buddy. Says Western gaming is just as bad as Hollywood. It's pretty cutthroat. Yeah. Assassin's Creed Shadows is dead on arrival. Oh, it definitely will be. Yeah, 100%. Cannot agree with that more. Thomas Goes Nostalgic says Hasbro making less is great news for independent toy lines in the short term. I'd be worried long term, new collectors won't have that massive gateway to discover indie lines, though. What do you think about that, Ryan?
I tend to agree. There's not, for this type of hobby, I think, to continue into the future, generations into the future, even just to the next generation.
Yeah.
I've said it a million times. You have to have good media to capture the attention of kids. And that's harder nowadays because their attention is getting pulled in 10 different ways.
Yeah.
my kid, it's Ben 10. Loves Ben 10, right? Like they captured him with that. He still likes Ben 10. Pokemon, likes Pokemon. They captured him with that. We pick on Hasbro, but as far as Hasbro goes, they haven't done that with Joe. They've done okay with Transformers. Transformers has really never gone away as far as media, cartoons, movies. It's pretty much always had a presence, but Joe has been gone. The last thing was the Snake Eyes movie. No one saw it.
They did it. Before you continue your thought, let me just put a pin in that. They did more damage to the IP putting that movie out than they would have if they pulled a Batgirl and just took the tax right off and didn't fucking let that movie see the light of day.
Yeah.
I will die on that hill. That movie fucked the Joe IP up. It set them back. They had to reshuffle a whole bunch of things. They had that animated Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow series that was supposed to come out, which is a continuation of the movie where he rides off on the motorcycle, still running his fucking mouth the whole time.
I never saw the movie. So
okay, well, that's how the movie ends. That's the only time you see him in the Snake Eyes costume, which, I knew it was going to be a fucking motorcycle helmet. I knew it. But they scrapped that cartoon and a whole bunch of shit. Anyway, continue, please.
Oh, I'm just saying if we want the Joe brand to continue past really our generation, you have to capture kids with some good media, cartoons, movie, ideally cartoons that are on streaming. You got to promote the hell out of it and have the characters in the cartoon on the shelf at the same time. You can't do like you do with Star Wars and here's the Mandalorian and then the toys hit the shelf who knows when, or whatever.
Right. It's crazy how they used to be able to do that.
Dude, look, they have Hasbro has an opportunity right now with their Marvel brand. And it's not that I know that the narrative on YouTube is, Marvel's dead, the MCU's dead. Personally, I don't like what they're doing. I think it has a lot of life left in it. Everyone's still talking about it. I think bringing the original actors back, while it is a Hail Mary, I think personally, I think it'll work. But right now, Marvel Rivals is huge. My kid and all his friends are playing it.
That
collectors
game is
in our
good,
space,
man. It's good.
Adult collectors in our space are all playing it. They're all loving it.
Yeah.
There should be an end cap at every Target and Walmart full of Rivals merchandise right now. And there isn't. And that's a big miss.
Yep.
That's a big freaking miss. And people will say, well, they did that with Fortnite and those lines failed. One, Fortnite isn't Marvel. It's not Marvel. Two,
different targets.
Yeah, I mean, kids are already captured by Marvel. Kids, that are 10, 15, even 5, they all like the MCU. The Marvel cartoons that are on Disney Plus most of them are pretty good, pretty solid, because they're all old stuff, right? That we're watching again. X-Men 97. They should have had product for Rivals on the shelf, similar to how they did X-Men 97, but there should have been more of X-Men 97 because it was out too early. And then when kids got into the show, it wasn't on the shelf. And so they have to have good media and good timing with toys on the shelf to support that media. Rivals is, to me, a huge missed opportunity. They'll probably put stuff for Rivals out in a year. And I'm not just talking Marvel Legends. I'm talking kid-focused stuff.
Yeah.
It's not there. I'm like, what are they doing? Because my kid and his son, they're 14. Well, actually, my kid just turned 15. So they're 15. They're both toy collectors. They both want toys to pose and display on their shelf. They both said, I'd buy the Rival figures right now. What, can we get them? Are they coming out? I'm like, there's nothing. Huge missed opportunity.
Well, it's kind of always been the three pillars of any kind of good brand is you have your comics, you have your media, either live action movies or cartoons or whatever, and then you have your toys. Yeah. But the Rivals game is good. I will say that. I've been playing the shit out of that G.I. Joe Wrath of Cobra, but I like side-scrolling beat-em-ups, so that's kind of my jam, but what's to stop them from saying like, hey, you know that Marvel's Rivals is doing great. Like, why don't we make something like that for Joe instead of that fucking Operation Blackout game? Ugh. Which I used a clip of that in my video for tomorrow.
And Mother Slug just commented, and they're right. You could slap any characters and name on Marvel Rivals. But the thing is, kids are already familiar with these characters because of the past 15 years, 17 years of the MCU, because of the glut of Marvel content that's on Disney Plus and Netflix that most families have. So they already know these characters, and they're getting a new cool version that they can play in a video game that's really hot right now. It's big.
Well, you know, you also have a franchise that's done something that no other franchise has ever done. I mean, they had a $2 billion plus movie. You know, the MCU was gigantic. It saved Marvel beyond what I think a lot of people really understand. Like, they were filing for bankruptcy a hot minute ago.
Yeah.
And, you know, they did some bounce back, but it's Marvel's doing well in certain areas, not so great in others, but yes, I agree with you. They can pick it back up. But the thing is,
X-Men 97 was huge for them.
It was. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kids love it.
The thing is, you got Hasbro, which has always been one of the pillars of our childhoods. And now they're saying, well, we're not going to really make toys anymore. Like, we'll still make some stuff, but obviously they're licensing everything out. They're licensing everything out like crazy. But you're paying $500 million for Marvel and $500 million for Star Wars. You're putting out as much as you can for either of those IPs to try to, one, justify the licenses, and two, recoup your money. While you have people like Kathleen Kennedy and all these people over at Lucasfilm and Marvel and Disney, you know, proper, they're overlords, you know, Bob Iger, coming up with these characters. Like, who at Hasbro was really excited to make a Rose Tico figure? Honestly, nobody.
I don't think anyone in the Black Series or Vintage Collection team is excited
they have
about anything.
To. Right.
I know they have to.
Yeah.
They don't seem excited, or it could just be their personalities. They don't seem excited about anything when I see them.
They don't.
You know,
they kind of look like whip dogs.
And here's the Clone Commander Rex and Phase 1 helmet.
I think this is Rex. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. We wanted to keep this product in line with future offerings and the current state of Star Wars. It's like, dude, shut up. Don't do live streams.
Yeah, no, yeah. Most of them suck, but
yeah.
that's just personalities of, weird Hasbro employees.
God, they should have me do their Black Series live streams. I would be great at it, Chad.
Would you? But would you thrust at the podium?
Yes.
And would you pimp your fucking cereal?
Yes. I would have Laser Rose.
Yeah.
Laser Brain Crunch.
I'd buy it.
I'd pelvic thrust all over that studio.
You just got to make sure you thrust at the podium while you're standing there.
Hell
yeah. It'll be good.
Horny time.
Yeah. Just Jeff sends a $5 super chat. Thank you, Jeffy, and says lots of folks in here that helped me and Dobby. Just wanted to say thank you again to all of you. Now enjoy the toxicity. Appreciate that, Jeff. You didn't have to send a super chat, but thank you very much. It is appreciated. I'm glad your dog is well. Cavzilla, channel member for 9 months, uses his Chad chat and says, hey there, Chad and LaserPants. That's me and you.
It is.
Can't stay, but we'll be on the replay squad. Have a great show. Thanks, you,
Kev.
Kevin. It's good to see you, my dude.
Yep.
And Justin Booth, channel member for 8 months, says Hasbro really dropped the ball with Power Rangers.
Yeah.
I'm not a Power Rangers guy.
I mean, it seems to me that the only merchandise that would really sell was Mighty Morphin stuff. I know there's fans of the follow-up, seasons, the series Turbo and
I watched Turbo with my kid. Whatever.
But that stuff was sitting on the shelf while the Mighty Morphin stuff was disappearing. So, don't know.
What about Voltron? Mother Slug? fucking love Voltron. Lion Force, Beast Can Go Lion, Lion Force with Keith and Pidge and all that. Man, every time they form that blazing sword, it's like I'm 8 years old again. I love it. I fucking love it. I think Playmates are doing Power Rangers now. Yeah, that's correct. Because they licensed it out. Yeah,
it's called the Power Rangers Reignition line, and
that's a good song by the Bad Brains.
Yeah, they are going to debut it at Toy Fair coming up this month.
Toy Fair, huh?
The fact that the name is Reignition makes me think it's going to be a rejuvenated Lightning collection. Like what they're going to make will fit in with Lightning. It's like they're reigniting the Lightning. That's what it seems like to me. I could be totally wrong. I don't know.
Do you think that's smart to try to make it fit in with Lightning?
Well, I mean, they could finish excuse me, they could finish teams that the Lightning collection never finished. So that would be good. They could also do the Mighty Morphin team in their school clothes. You know what I mean? They could do Bulk and Skull. They could lean into more niche stuff. Of course, Playmates is pretty much all retail. I don't know if that would sell. Well, we'll see.
What are your thoughts on this Chad chat from our good friend Nico Tronis, our good ninja friend? I'm forming a blazing sword.
Sounds like you're burning some trees, huh?
What the hell is even that?
Have fun, Cheech.
Thank you, Nico Tronis. Yeah, appreciate that. I thought it was a boner reference. I didn't think it was a reference.
I like what Mike Joseph and Toy Gaines said about, I don't want to bust ahead, but they said with Rivals, make the Rivals figures and include a code for a custom skin for the game. Right?
How rad would that be? Bust ahead. I'm already at the end. I'm caught up on the chat, baby. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Stu from Universal Toy Collectors here. What's up, Stu? And says, my question is, how can any company fuck up Star Wars and G.I. Joe? Star Wars was fucked up by Lucasfilm.
It's
like
the media.
They were in a pretty good spot with The Mandalorian after all that Last Jedi, whatever, Rise of Skywalker caca. Joe, I could fix G.I. Joe in 3 steps. 3 steps. I could fix G.I. Joe. Easy.
4-inch scale?
It's not even really about scale. It's about, first of all, I would start going through all the unproduced stuff. Battle Corps Rangers, that would happen. So, yeah, probably 1/18 scale when you're talking like the Sea Wolf and the Battle Station and all that stuff. But I would go back through all of that unproduced stuff, unproduced teams, then I would definitely focus on some media and just tie it in with the toys. I don't have a problem with 1/12 scale. What I have a problem with is you have Star Wars over here that's not even controlled by Hasbro. They have to do what Disney and Lucasfilm tell them to do. Rostico, Admiral Holdo, et cetera, right? Fucking Acolyte figures. That show, like, if you liked it, great, but the majority of viewers did not like that show or finish it, which,
I didn't start it. Not a single second.
I started it. I got halfway through it and I said, nope. Anyway, the point is they still made toys for the Acolyte. They have to. For one, it's in their contract, right, for the licensee. And two, they're trying to make that money back, that $500 million. So they're going out of their way to make all these peg-warming figures that nobody wants because the characters suck and the media is ruining the IP. But then you've got G.I. Joe over here, and they're doing like the bare minimum with G.I. Joe. And as all of this Joe stuff that they put out shows, G.I. Joe fans, and I say it all the time, we are like that person stranded in a life raft in the middle of the ocean. There's water everywhere, but you know, if you drink it, it's not good for you. They'll just take whatever they can get. Like Joe fans want Joe stuff. And I don't care what the scale is. But if you can do Star Wars in retro 5 POA, vintage collection, modern articulation, 4-inch and 6-inch, if you can do all three of those with a brand that you pay $500 million just for the ability to make those three, why the fuck can't you do it with G.I. Joe? Like, stop with all that shit. You know, like this stuff, this whole crazy restructuring, that this is going to have like massive secondary and tertiary orders of effect. Like the blowback that's coming from all of this, a lot of people have no idea what's coming. Like they started shit canning all sorts of stuff. The whole thing where everybody was seeing like the Vamp and the Stinger, and there was talk about, oh, there's going to be one more price point with like the Thunder Machine and stuff. That's fucking gone.
Yeah.
So why can't you do with your brand where, you know, I understand they're risk adverse, but you can't be risk adverse while you're spending $1 billion for 2 licenses and you're stuck making figures about the Eternals and the Marvels and the Acolyte. And
yeah,
it doesn't make sense. Granted, I'm not an economist, but I know G.I. Joe sells.
Even with the downfall of the Star Wars IP, and even I think to a lesser extent the Marvel live action IP and the Marvel IP, I'll just say, I think there's still more Star Wars and Marvel fans than G.I. Joe. I think G.I. Joe is more niche.
G.I. Joe is more niche. Yeah. I don't disagree with that. However, G.I. Joe is also not, it's not becoming moribund, whereas Star Wars is. Like G.I. Joe fans haven't, pardon me, haven't hit apathy. Most diehard Star Wars fans, like in our age range, they've hit the fuck it button. Like apathy is the new thing. The Skeleton Crew was aptly named because who the fuck watched it? Not a lot of people.
That one I actually watched.
Okay, I understand that,
yeah,
but
yeah.
the goodwill is gone because you have shit like the Acolyte and things like that. Look what they did to Luke Skywalker. Tito Man is here. Tito Man is here. Tito Man is here. I know. I'm sorry, dude. A vintage style collection G.I. Joe would be amazing. Yeah, they did that. It's all the modern Joes.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, you want to see some amazingly sculpted Joes? Look at the 50th anniversary and the Pursuit of Cobra stuff. Fantastic shit, my man. Yeah, I mean, they could do all three of those lines for Joe, and like that's all profit. I don't know. I don't get it. George Aiken says they must have a certain contract to make certain amount of toys for each film. Yeah, absolutely.
Sure. Sure. And I'm sure there, 3-4 years ago, there would have been a whole wave for Captain America, right? A whole wave and deluxe figures and exclusive figures just for that movie. Now there's 3 deluxe figures. That's it.
I have that weird little 4-inch fucking Hydra tank from the first movie. I just did it up like Cobra Viper and slapped some Cobra stickers on it.
But I mean,
I made all sorts of cool stuff.
Whatever the contract is, you have to make so many figures for a movie or whatever. I think that got dialed back. Like I don't think they're required to make as many figures for a live action movie now, because
they didn't even have a Rise of Skywalker line.
No, there wasn't. There was a few Black Series figures and no vintage collection.
But you didn't see a vintage collection card that said Rise of Skywalker. There was no
there was like 3 3/4 figures for it, but there wasn't like a dedicated 3 3/4 line like there was for Last Jedi and Solo and Force Awakens.
Last Jedi broke it. Fucking broke it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Mike Joseph says, what if they did a HasLab that was multiple vehicles, i.e. Snowcat, Thunder Machine 2-pack? Mike Joseph, were you in the member stream a little bit ago? Because I broke all that down Barney style. If not, go back and watch it because I see you're a channel member. Yeah. Jedi Ben says apathy set in years ago, and look at my name. Yeah, that's okay. Look, man, I will still watch Return of the Jedi all the time. So, Caleb says the Phantom runs much deeper than the latest Disney show. I don't agree with that, or I'm sorry, I don't disagree with that. I love Star Wars. I mean, I've loved Star Wars since I was 3 years old. What I'm saying is that you have a company that wants to get out of toys, that is a toy company that now wants to move to Boston, and they want to do all this stuff to change their entire business, but they're chasing Star Wars. They're spending all this money to chase Star Wars, and I just kind of don't get it. Jeffy said Joe's new comic is killing it. Their toys are still fun. Make a 3 3/4 scale based on the comics. Make a cartoon that adults like. Throw it on Paramount Plus. Base your figures on that.
Kids aren't reading comics. I'm sure the comics are good. I have a few, haven't read them. Kids aren't reading them. You gotta have cartoons. You have to have media on streaming to get kids into it.
Yeah, make a cartoon that adults like. Well, I mean, they had G.I. Joe Resolute. I loved that. That was I still watch it all the time. I love Resolute. Fantastic.
That's cool. I wonder if that DVD is still $5 on Amazon. If it is,
I don't know.
That's how I got it a few years ago. It's awesome.
Yeah. Somebody look on Amazon and tell us how much G.I. Joe Resolute is. So, yeah. Caleb says, I disagree. Yeah, the new media by and large sucks. Not Andor. I couldn't finish Andor either. That's just me. But I still buy Star Wars figures of the characters' movies I like. Agreed. And that's why they'll still put out, Jedi Luke, Darth Vader.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's my thing. What is there left to buy? If you're an original trilogy fan, you have everything, right? They've made everything.
You could be the proud owner of a HasLab Cantina.
Fair. Yeah. Good point.
What do you do if you get the higher tier? And why the fuck does a dream project now have tiers? They're never going to go back on that, right? Once they know that they can tier HasLabs, forget it. They're all going to be tiered. You could get the highest tier one with the 100 cups and shit. Lose one cup, and then if you ever sell it, you have to sell it as incomplete.
Incomplete, baby. Yeah.
The thing should have had a base. It should have had some kind of base where if you do lose a cup, at least it falls down into the base. But no, there's no floor. I don't know. I'm kind of feeling Caleb like he's very I still love Star Wars and I'll fucking die on that hill. And that's great, man.
I love Star Wars too. I don't like what they're doing now. I will still buy Black Series figures for the original trilogy characters and Jedi from the prequels and stuff. I'll still do that. There's not a whole lot of that. I mean, they're doing Shakti and Luminara and Dooley. I want those, but
yeah,
that's not enough to sustain a whole line.
Well, even when I was at Disneyland, I bought a bunch of those figures. I bought that, the Ghost Jedi 3-pack, and I bought the 2-pack of Obi-Wan and Vader based on the Ralph McQuarrie. And there is Star Wars stuff that I will buy. And I'm not even a Star Wars collector. I have a Black Series Revan sealed in a box and things like that.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong with Darth Revan, dude. Did they make a Darth Nihilus?
Yeah, I have it.
Damn it.
It's just a Darth Maul body with the Nihilus head on it. It's kind of a crappy figure, if I'm being honest. It's not great. Yeah.
Okay. Well. Drew G. Ryan, did you know that Drew's here?
Who?
Drew. The guy we know that lives in Georgia that never wants to travel to go to cons. He always wants all the cons to come to Georgia. He has really nice hair.
Not ringing a bell.
No? Okay. Well, anyway, there's this dude here. Okay. There's this lady here named Drew G.
Oh, hi.
That says they should release the 50th as a classics line with maybe some tweaks to make them better. I missed out on the first go round. Ma'am, do you mean the 50th anniversary G.I. Joe? Let us know in the comments.
Or Star Wars.
Thanks, lady.
Because that's coming up. Star Wars is 50 in 2 years, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Look how old you are, Chad. You're older than Star Wars.
I am older than Star Wars. I was alive when Elvis was still alive.
Yeah, I missed that by a few years. Well, he was
Weren't we
76.
still-
77 he died?
77, 76, 77. We had just stopped going to the moon just before I was born. So. Shut the fuck up, Ryan.
I'm not that much younger.
No, you're not. And you have beautiful hair. I don't. So. You got that. Jeffy says the only reason I say adult cartoon is because we all play the member berries with Resolute because it was honestly good. So if they did something along those lines, keep the teams
small and
it's like he had a stroke. You okay there at the end? Keep the keep the team small and specialized. Go from there. Voice actors are talented folks. They can do whatever. Keep the cast small. Keep them relatively unknown. You can cut your costs. Yeah. Oh, Mike Joseph only cost the last few minutes of that member stream. I urge you, my dude, go back and watch the rest of it because I dropped some fucking info on the next Joe Haslab. 100%. Yeah, I don't. Captain America Brave New World has been reshot at least twice completely and is still doing changes and reshoots as late as November 24. That movie's not gonna it's gonna be Dial of Destiny. I don't know how you feel about it, but
how do we know it's been reshot twice completely?
They did a shitload of reshoots on that.
Oh, I mean, every movie has reshoots, but
well, there were whole actors and it was just like Solo. Like there were actors and characters that were completely just cut out. And that's where you got like Giancarlo Esposito in there because he replaced another character that they cut out of the movie entirely. And there was a lot of reshoots, a lot.
I believe it. I didn't hear that.
Well,
I'm not really keeping up. What's that?
The budget's like $400 million.
Wow. I don't really keep up on MCU stuff anymore.
You know, I just see it when I come across it, whatever. To me, it's all academic, right? Because I'm not like a big old MCU guy. So when I see it, I just go, oh, okay. And it just kind of floats around in my brain somewhere. It just jumped. Tristan said the Energon Universe comics are very good. Could not agree with you more. If you had told me a couple years ago they were going to do like a weird Joe Transformers crossover reboot where it has Cobra Commander, but spoiler alert, but they put Cobra Law in there and like he resurrects Megatron, I'd be like, nah, I think you're full of shit. But
hey, that sounds cool.
You didn't read that?
No, I have a handful of issues. Dude, my backlog is so huge. I'm not going to buy singles anymore. I'll get the collected edition. All right. That's me. Yeah, Chad, to this day, I've never read a G.I. Joe comic in my life. Now, you want to see what Scott Hughes forced me to buy?
Oh God, did you buy it? The compendium or whatever it's called?
I'm going to show you. I don't know what it's called, but it's huge.
That's what she said. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's the Image run. Yeah. Get to it, boy. Oh, that cover.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Eventually.
There was issue number 3 with Quinn.
This is
issue 2, I'm sorry.
This collects G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero, 1 through 50. So it's a good start.
Dude. If you want to get your mind blown, read like 44 to 50. And that covers like the war on Springfield and the beginning of that, like 44 through 48, I want to say, is the creation of Serpentor, the first appearance of Sergeant Slaughter, things like that.
Oh, Serpentor is in the comics?
The comics creation of Serpentor is different, man.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I thought he was a cartoon thing.
No, he was not a Sunbow thing. No. He was a Sunbow thing after, but they changed it.
Well, I'm going to start at issue 1. I'm going to read it all.
Dude, issue 1 is freaking amazing. Like, if you want the blueprint for a great Joe movie, or even, the introduction of a team in the animated series, do G.I. Joe issue #1. It's like, I'm not going to spoil it for you, but there's a MacGuffin, it's a person, and it's kind of the whole thing is,
when I read old comics like this, I have a very open mind because this was intended for kids. It literally was.
Man.
It wasn't intended for 43-year-old.
It wasn't intended for 43-year-olds, but you have to understand, and I know you do, but
yeah,
we also have to approach it from the fact that a Vietnam veteran wrote those comics.
Larry Hammond.
So
yes,
there are adult themes in there. There's not parachutes everywhere.
Now, what if I read this, Chad, and I become a diehard G.I. Joe fan? What if this turns me into a Joe bro? What if I start to hate Valaverse after I read this? What are we gonna do? Maybe I shouldn't read it.
I don't think that's how that works. But
what if I start liking Gridiron, Chad? What if I take out a second mortgage on my house to buy all their 3D printed shit?
I don't know.
This is a dangerous thing for me to have. It could change my world. I could identify with G.I. Joe. It could become my entire personality if I read this, Chad.
Oh. Hold on 1 second.
Okay. I'm holding on.
I don't think that's how that works, Brian. I mean, wouldn't you say that I'm a dedicated G.I. Joe fan?
I mean, you're a normal person.
Well, I kind of hate everything.
Yeah.
That's what I was told.
Yeah. I don't know.
Do you think I don't know if Joe Bro and all that other stuff that obviously you jokingly said, I don't think those go hand in hand. I really don't. Do you?
That's why it's called a joke.
Oh.
Yeah. You see how that works, Chad?
That's that bullshit. That's that bullshit right there.
Yeah, I see how that works. Pokey87 says Resolute is rad. Good statement.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, here we go. Look at this. Resolute, $6.90. $6.90.
Worth every penny. If you guys don't have it, I'd say go to Amazon and get it.
Yeah. Even Lunchbox Killer says I just got it a few weeks ago, $6.
Yep.
Yeah, well, Aaron found it for $6.50. So there you go. Save yourself 40 cents. Get it where Aaron got it from. So
Aaron's winning. He's having a great week.
Aaron is winning. Suka says Darth Vader's even peg warming all over the place now. Star Wars is exhausted.
Yeah, they shipped him out in like the Black Series one in solid cases. I think they want to constantly refresh main characters like that. But yeah, it's sitting at my Target as well.
What do you think about this? Crusty Old Crow says Call of Duty G.I. Joe versus Cobra would be way better than the zombie nonsense. Wishes and fairy tales. If you have, this is just an observation. If you have skins for like Twitch streamers and all that stuff on Call of Duty, why couldn't Hasbro be like, hey, how about we get some Joe skins?
Well, Call of Duty G.I. Joe, just make the game. Call of Duty, everyone likes.
Well, they're
Joe
a
fans
gaming
really
company
like
now. Maybe they will. I don't know.
Yeah,
I have no idea. I don't know what's going on here, dude. George Aiken, our good friend from the UK, says, I like the vintage Star Wars, but that cantina needs at least 50 characters to populate it.
Yeah, I mean, if you haven't been collecting for the past 25 years, what are you going to do with the cantina? It's going to be empty. And then you're going to have to track down the old figures, and they're going to be really expensive. And they're not going to put out all those characters again in a timely manner. If they do, you'll be waiting years to fill your cantina.
Ladies and gentlemen, to join us, to add to this discussion, somebody who has been doing a lot of research and filming evidence regarding the toys and Hasbro and what's peg warming and what goes to Ollie's to die. None other than Jeff Hicks from World Class Bullshitters.
Hey, Jeff, what's up, man?
How you doing? How you doing, man? It's good to
What's
see you
up,
guys.
buddy?
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
That's what I had to check on. So apparently, I sent Jeff the link to the pregame and not the mainstream. So,
Oops. Way to go, dude.
we're talking about Hasbro and changing their strategy from toys to games, and how making the toys for Disney IPs such as Marvel and Star Wars has led to those kind of becoming moribund and dying on pegs. And you're the subject matter expert on all that.
I mean, I see it all the time. It's either overproduction or general distaste from the audience. What up, Drew G? How you guys doing? Hello, Jay Woods as well. But, I mean, what can I say? You guys definitely know what we talk about on the channel. It's everywhere. It's all Hasbro products, and it's every part of retail. You walk into a GameStop, it's just shoved full of vintage Star Wars style figures and stuff that people aren't buying. I think the collector market's in a weird place where it just kind of feels stuck. I know the economy's not that great, but everything else just feels kind of, I don't know, static.
Yeah. You don't see it. You know what you don't see at Ollie's and Ross? X-Men 97 figures. You know why? Because it was good.
Yeah, that stuff sold. That's why there's new pre-orders for this summer.
It starts with the media. You got to have good movies and cartoons and video games. If you do, that stuff will sell.
Yojo Jerk says your mic's a little low there, Mr. Hicks.
Let's see. I got the gain all the way up.
I think you sound just fine.
All right, I'll sit closer.
I think you sound just fine.
So
you could turn his mic up, Jed, on your end.
What?
Never mind.
How?
How?
Wow.
Wow.
It's crazy. I didn't know I could do that.
The three little dots on his picture there. And then go to edit mic settings, and you can slide that thing up.
Bro. That's all the way up. Whatever.
Okay.
We're fine. We're good. Jerk's just, he's just hard of hearing. Jeff, so you have been cataloging all of the Hasbro toys, just collecting dust and dying at Ollie's. I know in a lot of your videos, you show figures from The Last Jedi and The Force Awakens and stuff that we're talking like 2012, 2015. Don't quote me on the year, whatever. But like a decade ago, what do you think, just in regard to Hasbro, they pay all this money for these licenses, they're forced to put out these figures, they turn around and they're like, well, we didn't have a good quarter, so we got to fire a bunch of people. Do you think that those are kind of all intertwined?
I'm sure it is. I'd like to know what the internal mandates are on the numbers of these figures, because we had J.W. Rinsler on the channel years ago, and he used to work with the marketing department of Lucasfilm back under the George Lucas day. And then you had the Disney era coming, and there's this new level of secrecy. It's like they're trying to work the producers of this content. I think that's kind of what happened to Hasbro a little bit, is they got worked into believing that all of these new characters and these things that they've been producing are very popular. And I believe that social media is used as the culprit. It's like, look at all the hashtag support for Where's Ray, or look at all the hashtag support Wakanda Forever. It's like, look, people that are tweeting might be sad at the passing of the actor, or just wanting to get on a trend, or think it's ironic, or think it's funny. That's not your audience to buy these toys. And so you either sell it to kids, and kids don't want it because the kids want digital stuff, and then you realize that the toys are for guys our age, because that's what the numbers show, statistically speaking, and we don't want that. So I think they just try to lump it all in together and then just blame it on poor sales due to fans, waning interest, this and that, when we just don't like what's out there.
Nailed it. Yeah, it's weird that kids these days, their version of action figures, the way that we equate that when we were kids, it's their Fortnite skins. Like, kids are all about frickin' Fortnite skins these days. So they don't have like physical, dolly type action figures. They're like, oh, I have 86 skins in Fortnite.
Yeah, one of the, I'll just call him a nephew essentially, but I was up at Dion's, my buddy from the podcast, for Christmas, and the kids got tablets, and they're showing me like their collection of, they play, was it Roblox? They're showing me their Roblox skins, and that's like when I was a kid, I'd be like, hey, check out my wrestlers or the Power Rangers or something. So you're 100% right, and I don't know, it's so weird. They talk about them like they're commodities too. I'm going to trade it. I'm going to do this. It's value. I'm like, whoa. At this age, I was just worried about having fun with this stuff.
Right?
Yeah.
I bet they have Lego though.
These kids do not have Lego.
Oh,
they have other toys. They do like other stuff, but Lego, I don't know. Most of the people I know that are into Lego are older.
My kid loves Lego, but she kind of always has. She's 18 anyway, but she's like, she collects, but she's really into reading manga, and she likes Legos. But she also plays Fortnite, Roblox, you know. So I don't know. Maybe I just lucked out. The Titan says Hollywood's main strategy: blame the fans.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's kind of not all of Hollywood though. It's a lot of Hollywood, but you know, it seems the days of Joel Schumacher and Batman and Robin, you know, where he just came out and apologized. You know, he was like, I'm sorry. Like, I wanted to make a good movie. I'm sorry I ruined it. Like, at least he owned it.
Yeah.
But yeah, nowadays it's like, you don't like our shitty characters, like you're this or that or that or that. But yeah, kind of.
But you're right though. It seems to be like that is slowing down, and there's definitely like a keyed up response to that of the audience, because they've heard it for so long. It's not like the audience just made this up out of the blue. Like, why would we say this crap? Because you can give countless examples of that, and people are still angry about it. But I do think that Hollywood understands you can't let anybody say anything like that anymore, because it'll just kill your movie automatically. So I think they're like tiptoeing around that and hoping like Snow White can be salvageable, and hoping that Captain America isn't going to die.
Snow White trailer has 1 million dislikes, a freaking million dislikes, man.
People like their classics. You don't change them, like, for any modern reason. So
well, also the actress playing your lead character is insufferable.
Oh yeah, but so many people are insufferable.
It's true.
Like
Ryan. Ryan is insufferable.
Listen, Chris Evans is insufferable, but you put him in Captain America 4, make him Captain America, you got $1 billion movie.
100%.
Yeah.
Yep.
That is going to be an interesting dumpster fire to watch in like 2 weeks.
We were just talking about that before you got here. One of the people in the chat was talking about how, all the reshoots and this, that, and they're still messing with it, recently. And Ryan wasn't tracking that they basically reshot the whole movie.
Yeah. Like, even the wrestler Seth Rollins had a part in it, and that's just been cut out and rewritten. It's a different movie. I watched some guy's video. It sounds like, and you could even ask the script doctor, it sounds like they've shot it 4 to 5 times, essentially. Like, I'm going by some articles I've read, but yeah, it's like that many times. They just don't know what they want to do.
Well, that's the whole thing with the Giancarlo Esposito. Like, I was talking about that guy he had filmed stuff for it, but they changed the movie so much, they just cut all of his shit out, and expanding certain things, removing other characters. It's going to be interesting. It's definitely going the Dial of Destiny direction.
And audiences just you can't really trick an audience anymore, because not everybody is on social media 24/7. But you hear when these movies are in trouble. It's like, how many people you'll get like like in your Google feed, like a Screen Rant article, Indiana Jones doomed, blah, blah, blah. And somebody just be like, what happened to Indiana Jones? And then you like read you'll get people that are aware of this situation.
Right.
And I think a lot of people then go, I'm just going to wait till it comes to streaming, because we've been sold that streaming is the fix-all for everything. And in reality, it's kind of ruined our entertainment, but I'll spare you that rant for another time. But long story short, I think people know that going in that this is kind of a dumpster fire, and they'll stay at home. Why are they going to spend Valentine's Day watching Captain America?
Yeah, I'm gonna hold off on that. I did see Dial of Destiny, but I held off a pretty long time before I watched that.
Still haven't seen it, and I say that proudly. Still
haven't seen Dial of Destiny?
No desire.
To me, it's like, yes, I did purchase a couple of these Super 7 O-Ring G.I. Joes, but for me to have an informed opinion, I want to put my hands on them and decide, like, yeah, they're good. No, it's not good. Because I can hear other people's opinions on your Dial of Destiny, on your fucking Snake Eyes movie and all that stuff. But unless I experience it, anything I say isn't my own opinion. It's not informed.
Well, the
I
way
did
I
watch
saw
Dial
it,
of Destiny. I didn't like it, but
the way I saw it, I've already seen Indiana Jones get bent over and violated on South Park. I didn't want to see it again in live action. You know, I mean, it's Lucasfilm.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to give him $15 to see that. You know,
he cries like an old man. He cries like a scared old man at the end of the movie, and he's on the edge. He's basically suicidal too. Like it's so not Indiana Jones that you're better off having not watched it. Because I have a friend that hasn't seen part 4 or 5, and I say you live in a perfect world where Indiana Jones is a trilogy, and you leave it at that because it's great.
At least 4 ended with him and Marion getting married.
Yeah,
that's the only thing I can really say about Crystal Skull. Is at least they get married at the end, and I was like, okay. If you're going to make this the new send-off, because the send-off from the third one where they ride off into the sunset was perfect as it was, but now if this is the new send-off, at least they finally, get married. And then in the fifth one, they pulled a classic, current day Disney thing, broken, bitter, blah, 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 like, oh, let's deconstruct him and make him shitty.
And get led around by a strong, independent woman in her 20s.
Again, insufferable. Yeah. She was fucking terrible. George Aiken says Batwoman was so bad they canned it before release. Yeah, they took a tax write-off. But I would argue, just an argument, I bet you my opinion, I bet you it was better than the Snake Eyes movie.
Hey, Brendan Fraser says it was going to be awesome.
It had Michael Keaton in it. I know a lot of people go gaga over 89 Batman, but
so did
at least
Flash.
It had Michael Keaton in it. The Snake Eyes movie had nothing to do with Snake Eyes. Nothing.
I don't think I even watched it. But
Jeff, you got to watch it, dude.
Pennied out one of the action figures, so I bought it just as a joke. Like, I'll see what it's about. So I have a movie Snake Eyes figure somewhere.
Dude, it's so bad. So bad. Like, you cover a lot of pop culture on World Class Bullshitters, a lot, and I'm just a Joe guy. That's it. But when I saw the poster, we all came home from that. We were deployed all of 19 and some of 20. We missed the whole COVID thing with the toilet paper shortages and all that. We came home. We decided to go see a movie. The ma'am and I went to the movie theater. They had the Snake Eyes one sheet where he's standing backwards with the helmet. And we kind of walked by, and I came back, and I'm looking at this poster, and I said, I bet you they make that a motorcycle helmet. And my wife's like, you think? And I'm like, yeah, kind of has a motorcycle helmet vibe. And then that's exactly what it was. So it's bad, dude. Suka says the pre-order tickets are higher. Pre-sale. I'm sorry. The pre-sale for tickets are higher than usual for Captain America 4.
What was the last MCU movie? I guess Deadpool.
Marvel's? Yeah. Marvel's then Deadpool, right?
Well, it's going to have higher tickets than Marvel's for sure.
Yeah, the biggest flop in history of the MCU.
Yeah, and then before that was I can't even maybe Guardians of the Galaxy 3 probably.
Yeah, because it was like that was May of 2023. Yeah, Eternals was the Marvels, because there was the TV show Secret Invasion. It's weird. I can list you all the first ones, like the first 3 phases. I can tell you when they all came out in what order. But these ones, I'm like, it could be last month. I'm like, wait, what did I watch? They're just not memorable. Like everything just kind of died at the same time.
Yeah. Johnny from Simple Tricks and Nonsense. Yeah, he says they film action sequences and then decide to write a script and connect those action set pieces by a story instead of making a story. Anthony Mackie, Jeff, I know you're aware of this. He has said numerous times, like when they were doing reshoots, he wasn't given scripts, that he was just like showing up and like filming shit. So
yeah.
And they did the same thing with Rise of Skywalker, where they just kind of film a bunch of stuff and then.
Well, I think it's because they don't have a master plan. Because I'm not trying to play devil's advocate to be pro Disney, but the first Iron Man movie didn't have a full script, and they made a lot of it up as they went. But the first Iron Man movie is awesome, and it was leading to the Avengers, and they had a game plan.
You also had Jon Favreau, right? So,
oh, well, I agree with that. But you could have had Jon Favreau longer and longer, but you did none of these Disney. It's not just Disney, but we're going to use that as the example. With these big tentpole franchises that want to be set in these extended universes, like a DC is, it really isn't that the director matters in a lot of these. They're really just a gun for hire to get you from point A to point B so you can then sell your next 3 movies because you had this crossover. Like, the Russo brothers are lucky because they're attached to the big ones that made all the money. But, like, realistically, does John Watts from the Spider-Man movies contribute that much? No, because when he made Star Wars, the TV shows, nobody watched it. Same with all these guys and these directors. They're going to bring in this guy. Oh, Ryan Coogler, he's a tour de force, blah, blah, blah. He didn't really add anything to the movie that they wouldn't put in no matter who directed it, because it's kind of just a committee. You know, a company goes, we're going to do all of this way. And so that's why you can't kind of go off the cuff and make a movie work and have a good director that's talented just happen to be there with the right cast. It doesn't matter. It's all preordained, and they don't care how much money it costs to make it the way they want it. Look at it. It's going to be $1 billion to break even, some people say. Disney can just sell more Deadpool toys and merchandise and cover it, so it doesn't even matter.
Go get Deadpool. That's like Hasbro, right? When Hasbro gets in trouble, they're like, pull G.I. Joe out of the closet, you know, but then they don't want to talk about their war brand at the same time. It's like the redheaded stepchild. John Latello, what's up, man? Good to see you. Thanks for being here. Laser, Chad, and Guest. That's fucking Jeff Hicks, dude. Yeah. Anyway.
At least I was spoken to.
At least you were spoken to. What do you guys think about, you know, if everything is kind of synergistic, so you have comics, you have media, you have toys, and then you throw in, say, streaming services into the mix. Do you think that the pressure of streaming services to like crank out media, like they don't even call it, they just call it like media or product
content,
just to content, to crank out the sausage? Do you think that has an effect, like a trickle down effect on the comics, on the other media, on the toys? Hard questions.
I guess, you know, like with Disney Plus shows. Well, with Disney Plus shows, the toys are chasing them. They usually come out a little later.
Yeah.
Right. But then they don't sell because the content's not good. The shows aren't good.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Right. So like you have a streaming service, you paid a lot of money for this streaming service. You're still trying to pay off buying fucking Lucasfilm. And to me, it's the same boat that Hasbro's in, right? Hasbro's trying to crank out product because they have to pay $500 million per license. So Marvel, $500 million, Star Wars, $500 million. So you're already in the hole, $1 billion to make toys. When you're at the mercy of this parent company that is in the hole for buying Lucasfilm, they haven't made that money back. And they have a streaming service that they haven't made the money back on, while they're trying to just crank out stuff. Agatha, WandaVision, all this stuff. And then the toy company that's in the hole is like, well, now we got to make toys for this shit. So to me, I just see it as like, it's all synergistically fucked up.
And I think the fans feel that, and that's why there's this malaise or disinterest in a lot of the stuff surrounding pop culture collectibles. It's like I'm aware that they're just making this show just to get people to subscribe, and it doesn't matter if it's good, and it doesn't matter if I watch it, so I don't watch it. It's not on my radar. And
Acolyte.
Yeah, dude, I don't know. That show is great for YouTube views. Like, I like it for those reasons. It was the biggest.
I'm sure.
And Agatha, I trolled those people and got monetized on Twitter. Like, I love those shows for those reasons, but I don't watch them to enjoy them. But the stuff that I do look for to like, I guess it sucks because I will find something I like, but they don't crank it out. sometimes you're not guaranteed the next season when they finish the current season, so you have to wait an extra 6 to 8 months. Like I like the show Tulsa King. You never know
I
when
love
it's
Tulsa
done.
King.
Okay, so Tulsa King, we don't know if there's going to be a season 3, right? Because we just watched 2.
3,
Yeah, like we're waiting because Stallone wants more money and this and that. And
doesn't he always? I love him, but that's his thing.
Yeah, give it to him for this show because I think the show really is that good. I'm enjoying the hell out of it. But when I'm looking at other shows like a Marvel show, I guess I don't get as emotionally invested because it's just like death and taxes. It's inevitable. You're gonna get it. It's gonna show up. It's gonna cost X amount of dollars. It's gonna feature all this crap that you don't care about, and you're gonna get a small, really annoying contingent of people online that tell you it's the greatest thing ever and that you're wrong, and then you'll get the other people that are going to try to pick apart every minute detail and look for greatness in garbage, and then you find yourself disinterested in it all, so you go back and you watch old stuff or you buy old stuff, and you just don't feed the beast. And it just
again, right, you bring up a good point because that's where we're seeing like a lot of these toy companies they're just stuck in this nostalgia loop because especially Hasbro, right, trying to like keep on the theme of the conversation, but they admit that they're so risk adverse. And when you're a toy company being risk adverse, it doesn't really allow for those hits. You know, a lot of the toy IPs that we love now as adults, they were risks when we were kids. You know, G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero was a risk. They had to fight tooth and nail with Stephen Hassenfeld to even get him to entertain bringing back G.I. Joe. And that was only because of the success of Star Wars. And Star Wars was a risk, right? So everybody knows the whole thing with like, you know, Alan Ladd Jr. and George Lucas and how nobody wanted to help him get Star Wars made. And he had to put up his own money to make Star Wars. And if it wasn't for those toys, we wouldn't have Joe, Mask, on and on and on. But now we're just doing this. Like Hasbro just licensed out Mask to somebody else. They've licensed out Joe to 4 or 5 different companies. Now they're licensing out Power Rangers. But we don't see anything new. It's just nostalgia, like you were talking about, Jeff. Where
what is Target though? When you walk into a Target, it's Ninja Turtles, it's Transformers, it's G.I. Joe, it's He-Man, it's The Simpsons. That's the thing that blew me away.
Simpsons,
that
I know.
Simpsons stuff that's actually kind of cool looking. But did you notice it's got the white packaging like the original ones from 1990? Whoever, I think it was Mattel who made those figures. But they're going for the nostalgia bucks. If you go over to the NECA section, excuse me, it's Gargoyles. It's even like Universal Monsters and RoboCop. And But the thing is, you got to go back a couple years. We have slowed down. It's not just the toy companies that are risk averse. It's everyone because we don't have a lot of new stuff. It's always like for example, they're remaking Romeo and Michelle's High School Reunion, a nothing movie from 1997 that everybody either has never heard of.
Little House on the Prairie, dude.
No.
Yes.
They're going for everything, and they never bring you anything new. Instead of Little House on the Prairie, why can't they tell you another story from another era and not even have it? Because they'll try to brand it as the Little House on the Prairie universe, when in reality it's just historical fiction. So just make something else. You can't brand it, and that's the problem. All these companies want to interconnect and tie and brand and corporately synergize. And if it was all a bunch of exciting stuff, like in the 90s, you had like the Batman cartoon was great. The Batman toys were great. The video games were great. The comic books were pretty solid. And the movies, like, some people love Batman Returns. I don't. But overall, in the early 90s, you had 2 good Batman movies. So, like, this Batman synergy worked. Same with Spider-Man in the early 2000s. I'll make the same argument again. It worked. But now it's like, well, maybe the Spider-Man game's okay, but it's not as good as what came before it. And the movies are okay, but we all kind of want the old ones. And so nobody goes, like, literally nothing is, man, that was awesome. I can't wait for the next one. Let's keep going. Because we're done with John Wick. Now we're doing In the World of John Wick.
Yeah. The Titan says risk aversion is what you get when the bean counters run the show. I could not agree with that more.
Yep. Got to satisfy those shareholders.
Yeah. When you become a shareholder company, for sure. Yeah. The large corporations like taking risks. It's just not in their, it's not in their wheelhouse. It's all about looking at an Excel spreadsheet. A lot of these people that run these brands or even these companies, I mean, like, look at Chris Cox, like he's a Microsoft guy. Why do you put a Microsoft guy in front of a toy company? Like, you know, like Steven and Merle Hassenfeld are like rolling in their graves, and Alan Hassenfeld's in the fucking corner coloring on the wall. Like, I don't know what the fuck with Alan Hassenfeld. I don't know if he wasn't hugged enough when he was a kid, but his brother would have beat the shit out of him if he saw what he did with that company. And, you know, it's just all these poor decisions, and they just look at a spreadsheet and they're just like, give him another Snake Eyes figure, you know, because they look at the sheet and it says Snake Eyes sells. So I get it, but at the same time, that's how they're in the position that they're in, you know, like they are madly in debt. And then the insult to injury, Diamond, right? Diamond Select or whatever, they're declaring bankruptcy. They owe Hasbro fucking millions of dollars. That nobody's really talking about that.
I should start talking about that because IDW, let's say, I think Diamond owes IDW a bunch of money, but it's all going to not, they're basically all going to tank. All this stuff is so interconnected. It's messed up.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And, you know, the comics industry, they're not getting away unscathed either. Like they're hurting pretty bad, but all of this stuff, like it all kind of combines because we talk about that it's synergistic and they're all like different pillars of these fandoms of these IPs. And once one of your pillars kind of gives way, you know, the structural integrity is not that great, but we've got all these independent creators, like independent toy companies. You got people with Etsy stores. Like I just did a video that comes out tomorrow about this massive 3 3/4 inch scale vehicle. And it has like areas that fold down and, you know, command consoles and a working crane. And it has a ramp that works. And I didn't pay that much for it. And it's a boutique item. It's a, you know, you pay for it. He prints it. He ships it. You build it. And I fucking love it. And it's a brand new design. It's not nostalgia bait. But the corporations aren't going to do that. The independent creators are like, sure, I can make that. No problem. Like I've had so many behind the scenes conversations with people. I pull out one of Dan Klingensmith's Creating G.I. Joe books and I'm like, hey, look at this unproduced toy. You think you could make this? And they're like, yeah, I'll make that. But Hasbro's not going to do. They won't even make a hooded Cobra Commander. So I don't know, man.
They're going backwards too, because look at Star Wars. We're getting all the original characters again. They're trying to get everything lined up for that 50th anniversary.
They even dog ear the frickin' cards. Yep.
Well, that's all they have is they have that 50th anniversary, and then that brand's dead. This is the last time you can milk it because there's not enough people that are going to be around to care. Like you can't sell a $500 Millennium Falcon. You just can't.
No, not anymore.
Really good point.
Yeah. Even if you rewind the clock not that far, if you go back to like say 2007 to 2012, I would argue that was the heyday of Hasbro because with the Star Wars stuff, they were making all the background characters, all the droids that you see for like 3 seconds, the shit that Stan Solo is doing now, speaking of independent creators. But Hasbro was doing that. They didn't have a problem with risk during that time frame. Specifically that like 5-year sweet spot. That's also when Joe came back with the modern construction with the 25th, 30th Pursuit of Cobra 50th anniversary lines. You had vehicles. They were still kind of doing play sets. They were more dioramas, but they were close enough to play sets. Now they won't make shit, you know, but they'll make the Bespin carbon freezing staircase to nowhere. But
you got to buy 2 of them to make a complete set.
It's the same thing with that Tanta V4 hallway. Like you have to buy several of them to make a real hallway.
Like if I ever saw that,
I did buy the Imperial hallway though.
Look, I picked up a new Darth Vader and a new Stormtrooper. Some of the stuff, like I don't like to reward Hasbro, but some of the stuff is too good to pass up. And if you don't pick it up, you know someone's gonna try to scalp it, and you're gonna go, man, I got the rest of the figures. I didn't get the Stormtrooper. Now it's $30.
Right?
You know?
Yeah.
How you avoid it.
But yeah, that's that FOMO shit, right? And companies, they rely on people to experience that fear of missing out because they're like, well, we're only going to make 5,000 because now it's not about making enough where everybody can get them and they're readily available. I can get toys from the 80s easier than I could get something being made by Hasbro right now. And that's by design, because their whole thing is it's hype, right? Because we live in that social media age where they want to call everyone fans, because fans make excuses for things, whereas consumers are like, no, I paid for a quality product. There's a difference. And all they want to do is be able to tell their bosses 3 words: we sold out. That's it. They want to be able to tell their bosses that wave sold out, or that line sold out, or that run sold out, so they can make the next wave and not lose their fucking jobs. Because how many people at that company walk on eggshells every day? Snotlips, speaking of independent creators, says Big Bad Toy Store is making a hooded figure in a suit. Yeah, that's actually Fresh Monkey Fiction. So
I like those kind of figures because they're doing one that's like a secret agent, and I'm like, maybe I can mod this to look like James Bond, like find a custom head and just get a good James Bond figure. So.
Christopher in Cutthroat Comics put a comment in the chat about, speaking of James Bond, what's this thing about Henry Cavill and Bond? Is that still a rumor? That's like a wish list thing.
Yeah, because I like him. If he was James Bond, I'd be very happy.
Hey, he was great in Man from U.N.C.L.E.
That's what I'm saying. That was a good movie that a lot of people overlook as garbage, and I had so much fun with it.
I think it's a good movie, and I even thought Armie Hammer was good in it, and I don't like him in everything. So
same. I never.
Cavill is going to be Connor McLeod, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're remaking Highlander with him.
The original, yeah, with Connor McLeod.
And now there's rumors swirling that Cavill is going to be in Star Wars.
They're never going to make another Star Wars movie.
Like I know.
Boba, or sorry, I almost called him Mango Fett. Excuse me, Mandalorian.
Mango Fett and Grogu.
That's my new character. But I really do think this movie is like it. If it doesn't make like so much money, it's going to be one of those situations, because it's going to be a Luke Skywalker movie where Luke Skywalker teams up with the Mandalorian and Grogu and all these characters. Like every 5 minutes, it's just going to be like, hey, remember this, remember that. And we know Luke won't die this time because we saved that for The Last Jedi.
Wink.
But I do think that if this doesn't work the way they want, we just won't see Star Wars like this, because the shows aren't making it and the movies can't make it. They'll find some way to like justify making Star Wars like maybe a toy line only or gaming only, but they are not going to be making like dozens of movies anymore.
Dude,
They're done.
When they had Disney or Daisy Ridley up on stage at Celebration saying, "Oh, the next movie's going to be Rey," I'm like, that's never going to happen. That won't happen.
No. Especially with that Charmino Bay Chinoy, and she's like, "Oh, I love to make men uncomfortable, and it's about time a woman, blah blah blah." And it's like, where the fuck have you been? Like, did you not see like Patty Jenkins' Wonder Woman or any of this other stuff? Like, women have been around. It's okay. It's not a big deal.
And Patty Jenkins was going to make a Rogue Squadron movie, and they canned it.
And she is the person to make it, because when they had that little stinger reel about how she talked about her father, and her father was a pilot and all that stuff, and how important it was for her, I was like, she fucking gets it. It's going to be good. And then because of the politics of Hollywood, because of what happened with Wonder Woman 84, they canned her. But then again, Warner Brothers is known for meddling in all the DC projects. See fucking David Ayer's Suicide Squad and what they did to that. It was Warner Brothers that did what happened to Wonder Woman 84, not so much Patty Jenkins. But anyway, the thing about was it Mango Fett and Grogu?
Yeah.
The thing with that movie is they really just took the season 4 script, chopped it up, bastardized it, slapped it together like Frankenstein, and then they were like, we're going to make a movie out of this. But season 3 sucked. It bombed.
So bad.
And now they're trying to say like, oh, well, we're going to put Han, Luke, and Leia in a scene together because Rian Johnson wouldn't do it. Like, I don't know.
No one gives a damn. Like, I'm more excited to talk about.
They're all dead. You showed them all die.
Believe me, that's why I'm making fun of these with my Stealing Solo books. Like, when we get to Frankenfisher and they dig up the corpse of Carrie Fisher and reanimate her, it's like a commentary on this crap. Believe me, I've already written that part. I can't wait to show it. But it is so obvious what they've been doing the whole time. And when you go back and you look at like parodies of companies just literally dusting off a corpse and bringing it out, it's just Disney at this point. And we watched it 10 years ago.
Yeah.
People are like so excited for The Force Awakens, and you're like, man, these old actors are being like pumped full of stuff and brought out and this and that. It's you know.
Listen, Carrie Fisher got back on all those drugs to lose weight.
Yep.
You know, so it was The Force Awakens that killed her.
R.I.P. Carrie Fisher.
Yep.
Lou Caruso. By the way, Lou, happy birthday, dude. Everybody in the chat say happy birthday to Lou Caruso. He says, I'm not going to throw it up because I want to talk about this comment right here, but Lou Caruso in the comments says, season 3 was Mando and his amazing friends. 100%. Who was Iceman? That's what I want to know. Justin Boots says Mattel is actually doing better than Hasbro as far as not losing a shitload of money, which is true. They're listening to feedback from the fans regarding WWE Elites and Ultimate Edition figures. There you go. Not just those, but when they showed Ryan, you were at San Diego Comic-Con when they were showing the Snake Lair playset, right?
No. If they did, I never went over and bothered looking at it.
Okay, well they did. So just say yes.
Okay.
So
yes,
I
was there.
I
saw it firsthand.
They showed one of the He-Man playsets, one of the Masters of the Universe playsets, and they got a lot of feedback from people. Right after San Diego Comic-Con, they rolled it back and said, you know what? We're going to take some feedback. We're going to change the design of this playset, and then we'll release it later. Like, I got to say, being a lifelong Joe guy, Masters of the Universe came out in that weird year between The Empire Strikes Back and G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero. So 81 was when, Masters hit. I got down with Masters for a little bit, but as soon as Real American Hero came out, it was all G.I. Joe from then on out. However, I'm always a little bit salty toward Mattel and Masters of the Universe because you're talking about something that came out of the gate on fire and it blazed all the way to 86 and then it died a dramatic death in 87. Like it went off the fucking cliff and died. But then, they brought it back. I'm not talking about He-Man in space with the ponytail, but 2000X, they kind of updated it and brought it back for a little bit. Then they kind of took it back again. And then when they came out with Masterverse and all that stuff, Matty Classics, they just started killing it. Next thing you know, like it or not, at least they came out with media, like you were talking about earlier, Ryan, they had the Kevin Smith series. And then they also had that little kid series where he kind of looked like a fire truck. But at least they had two different series. One was a continuation of Filmation.
They tried.
One was something. Yeah, they did try. But He-Man's been killing it, man.
The majority of He-Man fans, if I remember right, because I'm not a He-Man fan at all, but the majority of He-Man fans didn't like the Kevin Smith show. Isn't that right?
Yeah, there was a thing.
Yeah.
There was, we were talking about Star Wars and Indy and all that stuff. There was a lot of bait and switch. Like it's kind of Jeff Goldblum in Jurassic Park. Are at some point you plan on having some He-Man in your He-Man cartoon? So because he died, I guess you could say died in the first episode, and then it became the fucking Tila show. So I don't know. I don't have anything against it, but I gotta agree with Hal Jordan. That 2000X He-Man was the shit. So I like it.
Is that the one that came out in the early 2000s, like on Cartoon Network? Even I watched that show for a little bit.
Oh yeah,
I bought that figure. That's the only He-Man I own. It's still in the box. I never took it out, but
I love the 2000X He-Man stuff. I think it's good, man. You take something that was very, very classically for kids, that Lou Scheimer fucking Filmation, and they just ramped it up, threw a little Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon fighting in there, and I was down with it. James Lucas, channel member for 9 months, says 69 months, baby. What? What the hell?
I don't know. Oh, you want that one?
Sure.
What the hell you say?
I mean, since Jeff's here and I know he loves, culture, I could give James one of these.
Just checking in. Have you drank water today? Did you eat? Did you take your meds?
That face. Look at this face.
Yeah, that face. That face what you showed me. I'm like, that looks like the fairy from Zelda Ocarina of Time. The N64 about drinking water. There you go.
Yeah. I mean, it's been a minute since you've hung out with us, Jeff. I mean, I could give you one of these.
Chad, how insensitive of you.
You can almost smell that picture.
I don't want to. I haven't had dinner yet, so I don't want to ruin my appetite.
Yeah, James Lucas says the first season was definitely a bait and switch. It kind of was. I mean, whatever. It's okay. Johnny from Simple Tricks and Nonsense, who knows his Masters of the Universe, says, Motu irked me because shortly after Wave 2, everything was about the play gimmick. That is true. G.I. Joe was giving me posability, and I used my imagination.
That's how I like my toys, too. I hate action features, especially like...
the Ghostbusters Fright features?
That was my first Ghostbuster toy. We bought it from a yard sale. I didn't even know anything about Ghostbusters, but it was a $1 toy. And I thought it was cool because his hair popped off, but I didn't know what it's supposed to be.
Well, it's also like the superpowers figures, like Red Tornado, and you squeeze his legs and they all had a thing. And when the thing stopped working, then you just had a figure that you can't really pose.
That's how the X-Men were in the 90s. Like, oh man, my Slash and Wolverine's hips broke, so his arms just lay there limp like he was in an accident or something. It's like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Or, Cyclops' head doesn't move because they put a battery in it to make his eyes shoot, but he's just, like Batman, he's just a torso that moves.
Let me get to some of the starred content because we got a bunch of it. So,
What the hell?
I don't know.
Someone is in the chat is called I Played with LP's Hair. And he's a channel member.
That's probably the OMG Bobby Vala has hair now.
Yeah, I know who that is. I'm pretty sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, plus there was Chad Zombie Finger, and then it was Chad Zombie Finger was dead.
I think it's all the same person. They just keep changing their name. Yeah.
Yeah. It's all good. Suka, channel member for 9 months, our good friend, says Star Wars brand team always looks like someone's holding a gun to a family member if they don't type the product.
That's so true, man.
You better talk about that, Commander Cody.
This was hard to watch.
Yeah. We already talked about this Hasbro revamping the Power Rangers, right? Yeah.
But there's only one thing you can do with it, and I know this isn't cool to hear from the fans' point of view, but just the Mighty Morphin is the only culturally relevant season. No company's going to go in and make all the other iterations. It's like, if you're going to make G.I. Joe, are you going to do G.I. Joe Extreme first? No. Then you're not going to do Dino Fury in Space Hyperforce, whatever it's called.
As I have with G.I. Joe Extreme on my desk. The insult to injury about this guy. First of all, Ryan sent me this set. Second of all, he looks just like a fucking generic like Terminator figure from Kenner.
Yep.
Because this is a Kenner figure. And thirdly, that fugly ass figure is supposed to be Sergeant Savage. That's supposed to be Sergeant Savage. And I didn't know that for the longest time until Ryan sent me it sealed in a box. And I was like, that's Savage? Like, that's an insult to Sergeant Savage. Anyway, but again, Alan Hassenfeld. This goes back to Alan Hassenfeld. 1993 was G.I. Joe's second biggest year in the history of the IP, going all the way back to 1964. Fact check me if you don't believe me. And it was in 94, right after their second biggest year, where Ginger Kent, one of those executives that they got from another company like fucking Chris Cox, who gets in Alan Hassenfeld's ear and she's like, oh, all those Kenner people in Cincinnati, they'd really like to get a hold of G.I. Joe and do something new and fresh with it. And Alan's like, oh, that's a good idea. Let's give it to them. And then 3 years later, it comes right back, O-Ring, G.I. Joe, all over again. But that's that bullshit. That's what that is, kids.
Real quick, it makes sense, though, that G.I. Joe was popular in that window of time, because I remember just a small window of time where I had a bunch of GI Joes, like in the early '90s, right around or right before Power Rangers. So that makes sense. I just wondered why I had them. Like they were all of a sudden popular. Like I can show you, I had like the red guy in the rescue suit and another dude who was like gray and black. Played with them all the time, but yeah, they were back. I just didn't realize that.
Yeah, 86 and 93 were the two biggest years in the history of the intellectual property of GI Joe, and and then in the later 90s, after the whole Kenner Extreme experiment, they brought it right back to Hasbro proper, and that's when they started putting out the 3-packs, the 5-packs, the single pack figures, and it was all, hey, let's just do O-rings again. So it boils down to that. They have too many executives there that don't like their war brand, even though it was never supposed to be a war brand. They just can't get past it. David Carlier, thank you very much. Gifted a channel membership, and I'm contractually obligated to give you one of these Wolverines.
Wolverines!
Wolverines! Hell yeah!
Hell yeah! Thanks, my friend. And G-Force Racing, hell yeah to you too, my friend. You also gifted a channel membership. I greatly appreciate it. Congratulations to whoever got them, and you can go back and watch the members only stream that me and this guy just did, where I dish a bunch of HasLab info. Eric Alfred Abel, channel member for 9 months, says, "What's up? What's up, Brian?
What's up, Eric?
What's up?
What's up?
What's up?
What's up? Yeah, what's up?
What's up? What's up?
Yo.
What's up? Caleb W, new channel member. Thank you very much, Caleb, and Draven Lock Studio as well.
Cool name.
There is a shit ton of channel member only stuff for you guys to check out if you'd like to see it. Jedi Ben sends a $2 super chat. Thank you very much, Jedi Ben, and says there's no new properties to fill the gen void.
That's what I was getting at. Like there's nothing. It's like in the 90s they brought back Star Wars. Okay, that's cool. I like Star Wars, but I was that kid. But for all the other properties that might have come out in that window, I kind of stuck with Star Wars and avoided all the new stuff. And now they've run out of new stuff and we're going backwards. Like the fact that we're remaking vintage toys from 2003, and we're re-releasing them as classic Ninja Turtles. And I'm going, wait a second. I know it was in the 8th grade when these toys came out. There is no world where these are like, there's no nostalgia. It's manufactured nostalgia. And I think a lot of people, once you get through the fakeness, like you'll get younger people that get into this stuff and they'll think it's this holy sacred thing. And then they realize how hollow the whole point of it is. And then they just get out of it. Like I've seen it with comic collectors and all this other shit. So
Yeah. I agree with you there. Thank you, Jedi Ben, for the super chat. And 100%. I starred this because I was feeling this comment. R-rated Alpha Flight.
I'd watch it.
I would. But again, risk adverse. R-rated.
Well, hold on. Deadpool Wolverine, second highest grossing. That's like.
That's true. That's true. And Joker.
But I think studios and like Hasbro should know this, but they're kind of intentionally oblivious to this. But geek culture stuff is really for people of a certain age. It's real. Like, yes, kids do watch some of this stuff. Kids do like Spider-Man and kids do like Batman. But studio research shows that there's enough older people to watch Batman to make the Batman movie almost an R-rated movie and make Penguin an R-rated show. Like, it really is for just like the kids who never grew up at this point. And they shouldn't worry. Like, if you're going to make a Daredevil Elektra movie, you can have her get skewered. You can have the sex. You can have the stuff. Like, no, it's not a little kid game anymore. And it's not that I want them out of it. Make stuff for them too, but also either make it for the people that are going to consume and spend the money on it, or just don't make it. Because we're not going to sit through watered down. Like, we're past the watered down era. Like, you've given us the taste of like the pure form stuff. You got to stick with it now.
That's why I like you, dude. Yeah. You know what? I agree. R-rated Alpha Flight. I would be there for that.
Hey,
100% be there for that.
Alpha Flight. You bring in Wolverine, R-rated all day long.
Oh yeah, yeah. And that's that young Wolverine too. Like, whoop, yeah. Got to do it. Thank you, Mother Slug, for that awesome comment. And Mo said, "Oh, the horror," and it was at the "Are you drinking your water, lady?" Lester San Jose, the skeptic tank, Thank you for the channel membership. And then look at this, Ryan. You wanna read this in your Ryan style?
Like the whole stupid thing?
No.
Figure Fight Club with an insane $20 super chat. Augie from Figure Fight Club, thank you so much. Crazy $20 super chat. He says, for the Chad holes. Thank you so much, Augie.
Thank you, Figure Fight Club, for the super chat for the chat holes. I was just going to do this.
Sorry, I got carried away, Chad.
What did you do?
Hey guys!
Oh my God! I sent him the link. He was messaging me during the show.
You guys can't curse anymore. Sorry, I ruined that.
Hello, Mr. Vala.
What's up, guys?
How's your family? Hi.
That's Chad. That's Jeff. And that's Ryan.
Yeah.
What's up, kiddos?
Hi, guys.
Hello.
What's up, everybody? Welcome, Mr. Vala. Ryan, was that your doing?
Yes.
He figured you could use the extra view, so he said, why don't you hop on?
Wow.
You know what? Look, I'm going to do everybody a favor.
There we go.
I wish,
Bobby,
Ryan, I wish this was our StreamYard so I could just, get him out of here.
Yeah, right. Kick him out.
See, bud.
Right. Kid's like, I'm
Lee Mason.
You want to stay? All right, McKenna will stay.
Okay.
McKenna will stay.
So, yeah, let's shift gears just a tad now that Mr. Val is here. I want to throw this up. I'm going to throw this up.
Ready? Chad wants to get my opinion on something. It's called a hot take.
Oh, yeah.
Daddy gives.
This was going to get brought up anyway, right? But we already talked about that article about Hasbro shifting to gaming and all that stuff, and we talked about like the whole synergistic thing of media, comics, and toys, and social media and streaming services. But now we're going to talk about this.
Ooh.
Yeah. So this was announced on G.I. Joe Day yesterday. Bobby, maybe you could tell me this. You work there. You hate all things G.I. Joe, just like me. I asked this yesterday rhetorically. If G.I. Joe's birthday is March 9th, what made yesterday G.I. Joe Day?
Nothing.
Okay. I just wanted to check. I just wanted to see if I was, confused or not. You know what? I'm going to
wait. Did they call it G.I. Joe Day yesterday?
100%. Yeah.
Oh man.
G.I. Joe is based on the first day they released the toy line.
Yeah, but didn't Kirk Bazigian correct them last year when they did a G.I. Joe Day?
It's March 9th. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't like February when they first showed the line at Toy Fair. So that was like what they called like G.I. Joe Day or something.
I don't know. Yeah, see, I'm going with that's that. Boop, boop. Yeah, that's what I'm going with because
I'm going to go with Kirk, the guy that ran the brand.
Yeah. I'm going with the guy who pitched Operation Blast Off. G.I. Joe Day is March 9th because I even have the article that he shared. I saved it. Yeah. So, yeah. March 9th. Yeah. Oh, Hunter Prime says, wait, that's cool. That's my birthday. Cool. Look at this guy. Google it. Sorry.
Yeah, because Google has all the right answers.
I mean, regardless, it's March 9th. So, so Hasbro showed the Awe-Striker. What are your guys' thoughts on the old Hasbro Awe-Striker? The update. What do you think?
I don't think I've had time to digest this yet. I just know that it made me extremely happy yesterday when this came out. Extremely happy because when I think about
was that because of this?
Man, I'm trying to think because you guys know I hate G.I. Joe with a passion,
Yeah, big time.
At least that's what his tank says that I hate G.I. Joe. If there's one thing that I can't stand more, it's some high-priced 3D printed dog poo. And man, they got all of the karma that was coming their way. That's why, like, I saw it and I was like, oh, were the stars aligned on this one? Did they really put this out for $200? And then Hasbro said, hold my beer.
Yeah, $200. And so they announced this, and I'm going to go forward a little bit. So this was with that image, and this is the Gridiron Studios 1/12 scale Jungle Hound Gridiron Mechanized Division, and they've also been kind of touting that they've got more stuff coming. 4x4 military vehicle, $199.99, and then they put out a post saying, well, we could do this for under $200. That's $200. Yeah. Anyway, I also appreciated the fact that in other posts, it's G.I. Joe Classified Monster Force custom action figures. Go out of our way to not mention another military toy line.
I love that level of pettiness. I absolutely
love it.
Oh yeah,
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
Respect.
Yeah, and then like Big M said, fans hobby. Yeah, there's another image, and it's on the 3POA group where it's all three of them in one image. I didn't bother with that one. But.
Here's my thing, and I said this to Ryan earlier. What I find hilarious is that they will continue to lean into nostalgic G.I. Joe when every time they do, Hasbro ends up producing it. It's like, here, let's come out with our $40 vintage Firefly set. So you could pair it up with your $20 figure. So you make a $60 vintage figure that, some Marauder guy was gushing over. Oh my God, it's Firefly, vintage Firefly, buy 3D printed stuff. And then that same year they came out with vintage Firefly, or like a year later. And it's like, yeah, nice job spending all that money on 3D printed garbage where paint flakes off of it and it warps after sitting on your shelf for a week. It's like, yeah, good job spending all that money, guys. And then it's like, let me tell you something. The idiots saying that the Vanguard was overpriced are gushing over this, and you've exposed yourself on your intelligence. But I mean, that doesn't surprise any of us. We know they're not intelligent.
Yeah. Yeah, like G-Force Racing says, I wonder where they got the under $200 idea.
Striker, where do you think it's Vamp price? $100? 75, 80?
Actually, it might be Vamp price, because I mean, you got to think about it. The Vamp held 2 figures. This holds 2 figures. It's kind of like the same volume.
This holds 3. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say this was probably same price as the Vamp. They're probably going to put it in the same footprint box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they got a coffee cup there.
He has a freaking travel mug that says Yo Joe on it.
Of course it does. Of course.
Tell me that is not some kind of like office armchair quarterback executive idea.
Listen, man.
But that being said, I would always go on missions and patrols with coffee. So
listen, my wife is eventually going to get mad when she keeps looking down and sees Lenny hanging off my balls. It's gonna get ridiculous.
It's interesting that they have 2 AT4s strapped to the top of it like that. This is, I gotta say, if you're gonna update the Striker, at least they kind of went with the fast attack vehicle sort of feel to it.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give them that.
I mean, it looks good.
I like it. I said on the show yesterday, I said I really like this one, and if it should probably be a little less than a Vamp, but if it is the Vamp price, $100, I was happy with that with the Vamp, so I'll get this too for that.
They know after seeing what the Vamp sold for, and they're leaning into this nostalgia play. Yeah. They know they're going to get $100 for this all day long.
Yeah,
all day.
Oh yeah, they will. There's a comment for you there, Bobby. Bobby boy.
I mean,
Bobby boy. I know we're not going to have that discussion, Ryan, but I had to do it anyway. Bobby boy.
I'm not going to sit here and say they're stealing my stuff. It's just, listen, people see it. It's obvious. I mean, it's obvious the gridiron stuff. It's obvious the unintelligent price comparison. It's all obvious. We don't need to say anything. They expose themselves. That's the best part of it.
Yeah. So this was announced first, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this was like
the day
earlier,
before.
This was like early in the day, and then Hasbro was later in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Amazing. Like yesterday was like such a great day because of that. Oh man, they must have been like, oh, guess we're not really doing a whole lot of these.
You know,
I mean, listen, they're gonna get the idiots. Chad, you know who I'm talking about. You're gonna get those guys that
the free shit brigade. Yeah.
They're
already doing it. Yeah, already.
Yeah, they're like, well, it's different. It's not the same. It's different. But still, it's just like, listen, man, whatever helps you sleep at night. So that's fine. But
now, I completely agree with what Suka says. Competition helps, and wasn't it Rhode Island Comic Con where the Joe team was coming up buying your stuff so they could make their ghillie suits better?
Emily bought a blowback.
I'll be right back.
Blowback. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, Emily came up. You weren't at the booth. You were out shopping at Terrificon. Or no, it was Rhode Island Comic Con.
Rhode Island Comic Con.
And she came up and she wanted the Arctic Trooper with the gear pack, but we were sold out of the Arctic Trooper. And so she settled for the green guy with the thing.
With the thing. Yeah. Well, the funny thing is then we went over to their booth to look at their Ecto 1, and she was like, hey, look, my new friends.
Yeah.
Hey, they bought you drinks, though.
Didn't get the memo.
They bought you drinks. Right.
They were I mean, they were really cool. And the Ecto 1, it looked cool.
Yeah. I mean, the funniest part of that whole interaction was that following Monday, she probably went into work and she probably went over to Lenny and be like, oh, I met the great people from Valaverse and I bought one of their things and they sent us drinks. And he was probably just like, no! Like, oh, that's cool. It's cool. Yeah.
You mean the guy whose rifle case idea I stole for Lowlight? Yeah, okay.
Go buy some more skull rings to fit on your fat sausage fingers.
Yeah. So anyway, Gridiron announces this one day, and they say it's going to be $200, and then Hasbro says, "Hey, check this out." So I don't know. It's a little funny. I gotta okay. I'm gonna I gotta be that guy. So there is no way you're fitting an RWS on this chassis. No way. There is no way a remote weapon system, especially this kind of weapon system, that would tear the roll cage off this vehicle.
You know what it would fit on? The turret hole of a Vanguard.
Yeah.
Listen,
I'm just saying, like, I spent years and years and years, like really operating with, up armored 1151 Humvees with just a Modus, just an M2 caliber 50, right? The M2A1 mounted in an RWS on top of a 5-ton Humvee, and it drags that truck backwards when you fire it.
I bet.
You know what it would do to this thing? It would just the whole roll cage would just go off. But anyway, whatever.
All they would have to do is listen. If Mark reached out to me and was like, look, man, I'm sorry we make warped stuff. I'm sorry we make really high priced stuff. If I apologize, can I start selling add-ons for the Vanguard? I might take it into consideration.
Speaking of add-ons for the Vanguard, you just showed something.
Oh yeah, I think I did.
Yeah, that looks good, dude. It looks good.
Yeah.
That packaging looks really good. Somebody had just said it in the comments when you popped in too.
Wait till you see the price, baby. Everyone's trying to figure out like what the price is going to be, and they're all way too high. I'm like, oh, just wait till they see how low that price is going to be. This is what happens when you work with multiple factories, and when you work with multiple factories, you're able to get different quotes, and you're able to get the best possible quote for the consumer, not just say, $200, someone will pay that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Daredevil Dave is asking, will this have articulated steering? Are we talking about the real Law Striker or the faux Striker?
The Hasbro. And there's no way to know right now because they haven't said. All they did was show the picture. They haven't said anything about it.
Yeah. It looks like it has the suspension. like the OG one had. I mean, that's not really hard to replicate, you know, the suspension underneath the chassis of the vehicle. But I don't know. Just have to wait and see. But yeah, that's what's going on there. Yeah. Couple more
happy
pictures
day
of theirs. And then fire a Mark 19 out of that passenger seat. Okay.
So I mean,
hey, this
is all 3D printed. Even the wheels; those are 3D printed wheels.
Yeah,
the tires,
and soft resin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
A soft resin. Gotcha.
Yep.
Yeah. That's I know it's the Lord scale, but it is Mega Force, right? But that's how this is. My Delta Mark IV. Yeah, those are soft tires.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah. Doable. 100%. I got a chuckle out of the whole trunk monkey thing. Yeah. Somebody else did a
chat. All we could do is laugh. All we could do is laugh at them. That's all we could do.
There, you know, there's a term in combat arms. It's not a very sensitive term because we're not known for being very sensitive people. This is ridiculous. I understand it like looks cool. It's that whole like, what was the term, Bobby, that all the designers like to use? That puppeterie, isn't that what it's called? Yeah. Where everything's just like bristling off a vehicle.
Yep.
Whereas this is more stacked than bristling, you know, unlike say the Hammer or one of those other vehicles.
Yep.
There is no way with any of this whatsoever. It's not even a thing. I don't know.
I mean, listen, I have no problem saying it because I've said it publicly before. They have, and I think it's Mark's son. He's an industrial designer. The work's phenomenal. Like the sculpts, the designing is phenomenal. It's like top notch, man. I wouldn't take anything away from them. Yeah. It's just hilarious what they're going through. It's like, dude, your studio is based on 3D printed stuff that warps. People are getting stuff. The paint is still wet. It's coming off of the stuff they're buying. It's coming off on their figures. And it's like, yeah, it's like, dude, and you're using gym mats. So it's like, look, I know they're mad at me. I listen, you by all means be mad at me. It's fine. But it's like, you're mad at me because I pointed out that you were selling a $50 piece that had a gym mat on it that you were calling modeling foam. Like, look, man, you know I hold myself accountable for stuff. I fix the stuff that's not right. I fix the stuff that needs to be upgraded. Like, look, man, you got to hold yourself accountable. What happened then? Then they put that gym mat thing on clearance. It's like, don't sell gym mats and call it modeling foam. Just stop, man. Like, look, I'm not going to sit here and I'm not going to let you rip off customers, man. I'm not going to let you rip off customers when they don't know what they're getting, because they're going to get it and they're going to put that thing. Dude, I got that 30 cal because Sal gave it to me. That came with that gym mat. Bro, that thing's almost in a U shape because 3D prints will warp. They will warp. You can call your fancy resin whatever you want. At the end of the day, your stuff is never going to be injection molded plastic. It's never going to not warp. It's never going to the paint's not going to come off. Just stop ripping people off. I get it. It takes the time to print this stuff. It takes the time to hand paint this stuff. I get it.
Yeah.
But you're ripping people off. Like you can't, and I won't stand by that. I won't stand by and let a customer like get ripped off for that kind of stuff.
I mean, you remember they had the Kickstarter howitzer.
Yeah.
That warped like mad.
Our friend Jeff W got a couple of them, and he said on the shelf, you know, it's sitting there and they just start to sink.
Yeah, the wheels just.
Oh yeah.
And what was that thing? That thing was like one something, right?
Yeah. It was almost 200. You know who would know? You know who would know how much that fucking Gridiron Mountain howitzer is? Our good friend Ghost Daddy Jeremy Jernigan with a $5 super chat. He would know because we've discussed it at length. Jeremy, thank you for the super chat, who also says that turret ring, this bitch right here, would have to be made of adamantium. Thank you, Jeremy. But yeah, this is that Geardo stuff right here, where like people who don't understand like how this stuff functions, they'll just like stack shit Anyway, but yeah, that there you go. Howitzer was 200.
200. Jeez.
Damn.
I looked at it and I was like, dude, that would be cool with my 118 stuff. And then I saw the price and I said, no. Yeah.
Here's the thing. And they're never going to do it because I understand their model. Their model is we can get stuff out really fast. Yeah, it's not going to be plastic. We could 3D print and paint really fast. So it's like we could show something like this. It'll be out a year before the Vamp or the Ostriker. Cool. Mm-hmm. That's fine. But you got to remember, man, the customers are kind of smart. So it's like, they're going to look at this and be like, oh, wait, the Ostriker's coming out. Why am I going to spend $200 on this? So it's like you could take that talent of your son and your the business that you have, man, just make, like injection molded stuff. Now I get it. It's like, oh, let's piggyback with Fresh Monkey Fiction. It's like, dude, their shit doesn't come out. Their shit comes out every 2 years. So it's like, okay, you want to team up with one of the slowest companies out there. Cool. Like that totally goes against your business model, getting your stuff out fast. So it's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? I mean, look, if it works for you, great. I definitely don't think there's any growth there.
The funny thing is, especially you there, Mr. Vala, you know that I do some hood rat shit for you behind the scenes sometimes. And we've had conversations about when a vehicle is going to drop versus when something of yours is going to drop, et cetera, et cetera. But you've got the Gridiron, not Striker. You've got the Hasbro Ostriker. And then you have that other company coming out with their own version of a fast attack vehicle all at the same time. Like, you run a toy company. Like, is that obviously that's not great, but I don't know. Give me something.
I look at it like this. There's that saying, be the lion.
Yep.
The lion doesn't concern himself with everyone else.
Yep.
I look at it like this. I'm the lion sitting in the grass watching this pack of hyenas gnaw on a zebra that's made of an Ostriker. Like that's the way I look at it. I'm just saying, like, oh, look at these idiots just all picking at scraps, just like a bunch of dummies. But
yeah, Robert's Infinite Realm says Fresh Monkey Fiction, 6 full repaints in one wave. Yeah, seems they don't have a lot of ideas over there. I don't know.
And people give me shit for repaints. Cool. The hypocrisy of the idiots out there, it makes me laugh every day. It's like, Vanguard's overpriced, but I'll spend $200 on this. Valaverse does repaints. Monster Force is amazing. It's like, okay, man, I'm just gonna laugh at the hyenas. It's cool.
I think a lot of that is, it's fueled by clicks.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I mean, we're just pointing out the obvious, right? Because you got, the Gridiron Gang, the Free Ship Brigade, the Hasbros, and all that stuff. Where unless it's an official Hasbro product, no. Even the Super 7 O-Ring Joes, which, I put my hands on them. I think they're more built like Leonard the Core. It's not really my thing. But unless it's a 6-inch Hasbro G.I. Joe, they don't want it. But then there's the caveats. If you're one of the bros and you get in the Free Shit Brigade, kind of change the attitude,
Yep.
There is a super chat with your name on it, Bobby. Curb Stomp sends $2 super chat. Thank you, my friend, and is asking, what's up with your Action Force movie?
So I was going to do like a teaser post about it on Friday, but I didn't. I got really busy because I just signed something Friday, a major step in the movie production process. The contract that I just signed on Friday was monumental. I know things slowed down because when the writer's strike happened, it literally pushed everything off. And then, studios were hesitant to take on new projects and they're trying to see the lay of the land. But we have actually several people attached to the movie now that have maybe won some of those gold statues. And the people attached to this movie want to make this movie. They want to make it fast and they want to make it awesome.
Mm.
So
gold statues,
yeah, you know,
like an AVN.
Yeah. Yep. So yeah, so once they know I'm big on like teasing social media stuff, so they're kind of like they got to rein me in with some of that stuff. So I have to like go through approvals on what I can post and stuff like that. But hopefully during the DFW panel, I'll be able to share some of those major updates.
Very cool. Thank you, Curbstomp, and thank you, Mr. Vala. And then Cutthroat Comics sends a $2 super chat. And Chris is asking, do you have any Pandoras left?
Dude, just go on the website, man. Just go on the website when they're all in stock.
There you
like
go.
The mail away and the exclusive should be in stock. That's all you got to do. Just go on the website and check.
Yeah. Cutthroat, just go check out Valaverse.com.
Yeah. They should all be there.
Talib is asking, is the 112 scale vehicle bubble going to burst this year? And backing up to the beginning of the stream, Ryan and I talked about your video a little bit from last Saturday, where you kind of discussed that. Mr. Hicks had to go, so bye, Jeff.
Later, Jeff.
I mean, when you're Jeff Hicks, you just roll the fuck out, you know.
I like his Irish goodbyes. He's like, I'm just dipping.
What are your thoughts? Because I know you talked at length about the Dragonfly and how large it is. Things like that.
It is definitely thin ice we're all treading on. It's not like, you know, this is an area where it's fruitful and we know that it's going to last. Like, I'm very hesitant. Like, I'm working on a few other vehicles right now, but it's like you got to be really particular about what you work on, because look, perfect example. Gridiron put all this time and effort into this thing, only for the same day they show it for Hasbro to just piss all over their party.
Yeah, that's
now
the timing of that is unfortunate.
Yep, man, that's a tough day. But again, like I said earlier, they want to play in their sandbox. They want to follow that nostalgia stuff. Cool, man. Well, this is always going to happen to you. I want to go do something over here that's totally different from what anyone's doing. So, but yeah, it's our, you know, people have so many vehicles like, man, I can't even display it. I have it, but I can't display it. So it's like, you know, there's always going to be the people buying figures. And I just don't think all the people buying figures are going to be buying vehicles. So, you know, Hasbro might win this match because of the nostalgia thing. It's, you know, it's like, oh, well, I like the Vamp because it's nostalgia. Okay, cool, man. If you want to be, you know, slim-minded like that, cool. All right. You know, just remember that when you watched G.I. Joe for the first time, there wasn't anything else to compare it to. So when you were a kid, you took in something new. But now when you're older, you don't want something new. You just want, you know, rinse and repeat, which is cool if you just want to, you know, not evolve as a human being. But that's cool.
And that's something else we talked about too, was the trappings of nostalgia versus growth.
Yep. But it's like, to me, I'll put out 100 figures, you know, while someone's trying to put out a vehicle. You know, it's like you gotta look to see where the market is. I still want to do the vehicles. It's just that you have to really like take a step back and be like, just want to make sure we're doing the right thing here.
Yeah. Again, you know, we're all friends, but we don't always agree on how we see like toys and collecting and things like that. But I mean, 118 is a fantastic scale for world building. 1/12 is great for detail and things like that, but it's twice the space. And space, I will say, you know, Toy Gains said it great last night. Space is everyone's enemy. It doesn't matter what your scale is. It will always be that like creeping death.
Yep.
You will run out of space no matter what. Like, so
getting there real fast.
Yeah, I've kind of reached the point where I have to rearrange 2 shelves worth of shit when I put one new toy on a shelf. So, and I don't even collect that scale. So I do empathize with that sentiment where at some point people will just say like, I really want that. However, where the fuck am I going to put it? So
yeah.
I have to back up a little bit. I'm sorry, I missed 2 of these. I played with LaserPants Hair, channel member for 7 months. Going back to the Power Rangers discussion, said I would say the Zordon arrow would work. Yeah. Going back to that. So talking about Power Rangers getting
Power
licensed
Rangers,
out.
yeah.
And Robert Diaz sent a $5 super chat. Thank you so much, Robert. I was kind of all over the place for a little bit, but I do appreciate it. And says the Hasbro live stream teams look like Byron Mills from Taken is going to come after their families if they say the right things or fake interest.
Should have said Brian Mills, but that's okay.
I think you didn't mean to say Brian. Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't see the stream. I'm sure it was a whole bunch of fake emotion and pronouns, but
yeah, earlier when Jeff was still here, we were kind of talking about how the Star Wars team just looks like they would rather be anywhere else.
Oh yeah.
Just very
Yep.
Rhino Hobbies, thank you for renewing your channel membership. I greatly appreciate it. And BT sends a $5 super chat and says, God bless Joe Bros. I'm a Joe Bro.
They're great because listen,
I don't know if I'm a Joe Bro.
They buy my stuff anyway.
Yeah.
Like that special MP, right, Chad?
Oh yeah, the plastic expert.
Plastic expert buys my shit all the time.
Fucking plastic expert.
I don't care if you like me or don't, but they're buying my stuff, so I'm doing something right.
BT, thank you very much for the super chat. Sometimes I sit in my private moments and I try to think about like, why are all these people behaving like the jocks did in high school? Like I wasn't a jock in high school. I was like a skater punk, nerd kid reading comic books and listening to the Misfits and shit. But it's very, very cliquish now. And I guess it's all areas of fandom or pop culture, but I gotta say, I really didn't think it was gonna be in G.I. Joe. And what I get the biggest kick out of are these Joe Bros that talk shit about it's like a military recruiting tool, and I don't like that. No. I don't like the whole military aspect of G.I. Joe. And it's like, what? What?
I think you're in the wrong fandom there, buddy.
It is definitely unfortunate seeing what G.I. Joe fans are now. And it's like, listen, so nothing's good on social media, but it's like, listen, we had always heard that Star Wars fans were the worst, or Transformers fans, or, it's like, I remember dealing with some Marvel fans. They didn't seem that bad, but they had their moments. But it's like G.I. Joe fans literally, like, if the worst of the worst is here, G.I. Joe fans are like way up here.
You think so?
We saw that. Yeah, oh yeah, with the way they bitch and moan and they're just like vile, like people, like, and I'm not saying all Joe fans. I'm saying you know what the ones I'm talking about are. So, the ones where it's okay to like talk about your family or dox you or do this or do that, and then tell you you're not respectful, and go and write 1,500 pages on a site that gets taken down. Like just people with no lives, people that are just sitting there, just like look, we talk shit, but it's like, look, we're talking shit like friends, and it's like public. Like these guys are just like vile human beings, like people that like I wouldn't ever want around other humans. But yeah, I think we saw it when the Cobra Island stuff happened, and it was kind of disgusting then, and then I thought it would like even out after that, and it didn't. They never fixed themselves. And again, I'm not saying all Joe fans. I'm saying the ones, the His Tank ones, the people we love, those ones.
This is more just an argument, right? It maybe a little more than a theory. A lot of the people who got into Joe with the classify, hey, Joe's going to go to a new scale, so people come over from other fandoms, and the ones that sit there and tell you like, oh, you're fucking stupid. Snake Eyes was blind, where they seem to think that one, they know everything, and two, your opinion's stupid. I've seen that really jump up in the past few years.
Yeah.
That's just my observation. But yes, His Tank has always kind of been around, but it was always just like, whatever. They're like that modificator guy who likes to talk about people's spouses. Just they're like coloring in the fucking corner,
This guy is just,
yeah.
He's the hyena. He's the hyena going into a pride of lions, just talking shit, and the lions are looking at him like, this guy for real? Like eventually,
Ryan and I,
he's gonna get eaten, and then he won't be around no more.
Backstage a little bit, yeah. Speaking of which, J Max says, Bobby, you're always going to have 12 angry men out there. If you don't have haters, you're not doing it right.
Listen, this is true. I mean, listen, there was a post on 3POA earlier today about this one guy. He's like notorious. All he does is talk shit, and it's like, dude, at the end of the day, it's like, okay, I'm over here with a successful business, putting out product, making money. You're on YouTube hiding behind some avatar name saying I suck. Who's winning in that scenario? Like, who's winning? Like, I get it. You guys didn't want me around. Okay. And 6 years later, I'm still here. Like, I'm not going anywhere. Like, I'm not going anywhere. None of this is going to stop. So it's like, listen, you can just continue to just yell at the sky. Nobody's going to care. Your life is useless. Like, your life is useless.
Yeah, here's the thing that I don't get, and I'm gonna kind of segue it with this. Jeff sends a $5 super chat and says, "Biggest asshole in the toy business still stepped up to help save a dog he didn't know." So the thing that I don't get, and I don't really want to turn it into that kind of conversation, but you worked on Joe for years. When you came up with your own toy line, removable magazines, blast effects, right? All that kind of stuff. Like Suka was saying earlier, right? Like, competition's healthy. It's that whole rising tide raises all ships. Like, if you do one thing, then they're going to see it and be like, cool, we should do that too. I don't see the negativity there. I don't see it like,
yeah. I mean,
I'm friends with people that you don't like, you know what I mean? And we talk about it, but you don't say,
don't be friends with those guys, Chad.
No,
like,
listen,
you don't
man,
do that.
You make your bed, you sleep in it. But it's,
I don't get it. Yeah.
But again, I'm going to hold those people accountable. Eventually you're going to cash in a receipt, and someone's going to be like, oh shit, I didn't expect that person to know that.
Whatever.
But it's just, it's, yeah, I mean, look, it's the lines are always going to live together. It's like, yeah, competition's great, but it's like, listen, I'm never going to be like, I remember, and he said this to me many times, Marauder John, who runs Marauder Task Force, he always prided himself on saying, I don't mind the crumbs. I'll take all the crumbs. That I don't want the pie. Like, I'll take Hasbro's crumbs. And I'm like, bro, if you're okay with the crumbs, that's a terrible business model, which is why his brand has not exceeded and it has not grown in the last however many years. I'm not okay with crumbs. I want the pie, bro. So I look at it as like, that's motivation for me. And yeah, it's like, I'm not trying to like, no, I'm going to try to get you on my side. But it's like, look, David versus Goliath, man. I went after Goliath. I went after Hasbro. But look what I've done. It's like,
well, they're getting out of toys. What are you going to do? You're going to make video games now too?
Yeah, right. Exactly. So, but again, they're just yelling at the sky for being blue. It's like Bobby Vala can't do anything right. It's like, yeah, I did the thing for Jeff with the dog, but I wasn't doing that for PR. I was doing that because I care about animals, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna help him out. It's like,
I mean, you didn't go blast it.
Yeah, the same idiots that will shit on everything I do totally won't even give me credit for the breast cancer figure that I did. What happened to one of their friends? You think that would be something that was meaningful to them? No, because they look at it as like, doesn't matter what our friend was going through, and Bobby's doing this great thing for this cause over here. No, Bobby is the Antichrist, and we have to shit on him every second of every day.
Yeah, Ryan and I shit on you all the time.
I mean, that
when he's not around.
Like, that's why when I say like useless humans, like, dude, like useless to society. Like, these people bring no positive to society at all.
There's a few people out there who you could tell they've never had any like real world problems. It's all first world, you know. BT, I read your super chat about Joe Bros. If that's what you're talking about.
He ended up seeing it.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
I'm a little behind.
Come on, Chad.
What? Yeah.
What kind of show are you running?
Yeah, I know. You got to
man. What kind of show am I running? Fucking this kind of show.
Just checking in. Have you drank water today? Did you eat? Did you take your meds?
Yeah. I like you, Bobby. I buy your shit and everything else.
Awesome. You're a good person.
Yeah. Foam formers. The worst thing about the nerd community is the nerd community.
That's quite the factual statement right there.
Yeah.
Remember the old days when we'd argue about what would win, a Star Destroyer
or the USS Enterprise D? Yeah.
You know? Yeah. And, you know, everyone was too nerdy to actually get in a street fight. You know, it was for fun. And now it gets really serious. Now it's like, oh, I'm going to see you at a con. It's like, settle down,
I'm gonna talk shit about how I'm gonna do something at a con, and then I'm gonna go to the con and nothing's gonna happen. And yeah, Bobby Val's an asshole. Ryan's an asshole. Chad's an asshole. Like, yeah. Okay.
And the way that I see all of this stuff, it's just like it's that social media peacocking, you know. I'm just like, fucking look at me. But if any of us and any of anyone, you know, the 260 some odd people who are watching, you better all fucking hit the like button. Like anybody, anywhere, if you were in a toy store or a comic book store with whatever person and you didn't know each other and you never had any kind of interactions, guarantee you could spark up a conversation about some kind of shared interest, be civil to each other, and then fucking go your ways. But it's something about social media and just
social media makes people dickheads. Like that's why I hate it, man. I hate it. If I didn't have to use it, I wouldn't use it. Like it's just like it makes people think that everything they have to say matters.
Yeah, the internet gave everyone a voice, and not everybody really needs that voice.
It's like I see someone will make a post about something and want a pity party, and then the next day they make the same post, just a little different. Like, no, I keep wanting my pity party to go on. Please.
You're talking about Ed?
Well, that too.
Fuck you, Ed. Sorry. Hey, Jeremy Jernigan sends another $5 super chat. Thank you, Ghost Daddy, and says competition always benefits the consumer. Yep, that's how you get shit cheaper. I believe the classified course correction is a direct result of Action Force existing.
Listen, Jeremy, don't let the bros hear you say that. They will gang up on you.
It's too late. There's probably like 80 of them hate watching this. So
right now, you see Marvel Legends chasing Mafex with that Spider-Man. 100%. That's what they're chasing. I think it's not going to be worth the price they're going to put on it.
But that's how they're trying to justify it.
Right. But I like the idea of it. Just give us the ultimate version of Spider-Man, put everything in the box, premium price. But if it's 50, like it's heavily rumored, double the price of one Marvel Legend, you're a little too proud of yourself there. You got to settle down.
I think 50 was giving them benefit of the doubt. If it's 50, I will be shocked. I'm saying it's going to be more.
I think it'll be 50, but 50 is a lot.
Yeah, 50 is a fucking lot.
Yeah.
I mean, I can get an 84 Joe with no broken thumbs for $50. Like, you know what I mean? Someone is currently making this little dolly, this little plastic person, and packaging it in some third world. Well, probably not third world, but in some other country. Why is it that much? I don't.
Star-Lord saying it's going to be 70.
If people are willing to pay it, that's the thing, right? It's not a, we're going to set the market price and then just put out product. It's like, what do you think we can charge for this now?
Dude, it's Spider-Man. It's gonna sell for $50, unfortunately, and that's gonna set people buy it. Yeah, I'm not buying it. I've already made that declaration. Everyone's saying yes, you are. No, I'm not. Not at 50. But that's gonna set a precedent. And sorry, we're not talking about Marvel Legends. Go ahead.
No, we can talk about whatever we want, man. It's eatable as fuck. We can talk about whatever. Mike Joseph is asking, how about we do a line of Peace Corps figures for the pansies? That actually happened. Yeah. There is a Peace Corps line. And I got to say, what's up to my Canadian brother, Jay Bartlett. Thanks for being here, Jay. It's good to see you.
You need to talk to your boy Trudeau there, Jay, okay? Can you get him on the phone? Tell him to settle down.
Wait, what's going on with him?
Oh, there's the tariff.
He still got a job? I thought he resigned.
Yeah, I thought he quit.
No, he's still running the place.
I'm an American citizen. It's all good.
I thought Canada was the 51st state. What happened?
He was talking about putting tariffs on syrup and Labatt Blue.
Ooh, I'm sure we have enough, American lagers that will take the place of Labatt Blue. Don't threaten us with a good time.
Thoughts on this? House Hendo says the fact these big companies are just hiring people with no authentic passion for these IPs is bringing it all down, from films to toys.
I don't know if it's bringing it all down. It's definitely obvious. Like, the people that are watching the live streams, it's very obvious that, these people don't know what they're talking about and don't care. What's up, man? Oh, you're just saying hi? All right, cool. Want to show everyone how you lost your 2 front teeth and you look like a hillbilly now?
Yeah.
Beverly Hillbilly boy.
Yeah. Hillbilly? Hillbillies, people that don't have teeth. That's not true. That's
he's looking like a little Tony Hawk from the 80s there. Does he have a skateboard?
No.
You got to get him one.
Yeah, right.
Maybe I'll send him one. Then you're in trouble. Damn it. Ryan sent my kid a skateboard.
What's worse, a skateboard or those freaking toys that grandparents would buy that, make all the annoying sounds?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know. It if I'm just gonna bounce off this real quick. You're always gonna get people that come into brands that don't know anything about the brands. A lot of the best real American hero designers didn't, like Guy Cassaday. He's like the father of like the big vehicles, the big everything. He never watched the Sunbow series, never read a Marvel G.I. Joe comic, and look at the stuff that Cassaday did for Joe.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it is skill and passion for like your product. Like, it's Guy Cassaday's name on these designs. It's, your name on these designs. Like, you don't have to know all the lore of an IP to do a good job at the IP. You just got to be good at your job, I guess. I don't
know. You got to be good at your job.
Yeah. Now, there are some people where, like, we were talking about Kirk earlier. If you take Kirk and Ron and you put them in the same room, those dudes forgot more about G.I. Joe than anyone else will ever learn about G.I. Joe. But you could ask Ron something direct and you could have like the proof in front of you and he'll be like, no, I didn't do that. Be like, yeah, you did. I got it right here. He's like, no, I didn't do that. I'm like, yeah, you did, Ron. So, I don't know. Just kind of how that works. TNT Skate says never go full classified. Trademark me. Yeah, that's the thing. I think we're. Oh, here you go. That's for you, Bobby.
Back to 2008, maybe. Yeah, I mean, Yeah, dude. I mean, yeah, like
Message boards are they're the original Facebook group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we see what Facebook groups are.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, listen, I almost enjoyed it just as much as I enjoyed the Hasbro shitting on Gridiron yesterday, as I did when the Valaverse thread got taken off his tank. It was so good. It was like, wait a second, we spent 2 years or something and 1,500, 2,000 pages of the same 10 dudes just shitting on me with no lives, and all that hard work is gone now. Gone. You got nothing to show for it. Nothing. Yeah. They're probably, oh man, oh, someone got rid of our clubhouse.
You know, the weird thing is that you can't even use the the retort, like maybe you should get a hobby, because that is the hobby. When the hobby is about like just being shitty. Yeah. JMac sends a $2 super chat. Thank you, JMac. I appreciate it. Asking y'all got any more of them posters?
What Pandora posters? We didn't do Pandora posters, did we?
I don't know.
I don't remember doing Pandora posters.
I wonder if he thinks that's Pandora behind you. I don't know.
That's a picture of me and my wife on our wedding day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What a creep.
I know, right?
Jeez.
So DFW. We're all going to be there this year.
Yup.
Looking forward to that.
Fun times.
Found out today I'm going.
Oh, just today you found out?
Me and Bobby were texting about it.
Well,
and then,
shit, I thought you were coming for a while now.
I wasn't.
I kind of had a feeling I was going to tell him to come, but I just didn't talk to him about what shows he wanted me to, fly him out to. And he said he wanted to come to one show, and then I was like, all right, well, are you coming to DFW? Because that's like, the big show. That's where we're gonna have the panel and all the reveals and stuff. So he was like, yeah, okay. I mean, I don't think it went like that, but it went something similar to it.
Yeah, we'll make it happen.
Yeah. And then Ryan and I are going to go to San Diego Comic-Con as Glob Shillman and Tuffy McShillmeister.
I'm going to be in that Hasbro booth just being an idiot again.
I know. I can't wait, dude. I can't wait. It's going to be so much fun.
I should fly out there just to come too.
Oh, yeah. Forlon
so
says,
much fun, man.
Yeah, we're gonna have a blast. But I wouldn't have even entertained going until Ryan talked to me about getting a press pass, because I'll go as press, but not as anything else. Too good for that.
I'd love to just walk through that Hasbro booth with my dick hanging out.
Could you maybe not the last part, but the first part is good.
Yeah, I'd probably get removed.
Yeah.
Forlom says Classified has brought in so many bandwagoners, the type of people who don't know the difference between blowtorch and barbecue.
Well, yeah,
look,
I mean,
guilty as charged.
Yeah, like we've seen, some, YouTubers that get windows smashed out. They hop on the on the Classified bandwagon. I mean, listen, dude, Lenny's even on the Classified bandwagon. It's like, bro, that dude didn't know anything about G.I. Joe. No way. He knew who Snake Eyes and Cobra Commander were, but that's all he knew. But Classified definitely brought out all the bandwagoners, which is okay because it made the fandom bigger, so they're able to like sell more. It's like if they were just doing 1/18th, they wouldn't be selling as much as they would with Classified. So
I would argue against that.
It's okay. The fan base growing is okay. It helped all of it. But yeah, definitely a lot of dudes coming out of the woodwork here.
There's a balance, the way that I see it. Do I agree with this? 100%, because every time something is posted about G.I. Joe, there's always at least one, Who the fuck is Glenda? That's a stupid figure, you know, blah blah blah. That's a dumbass stretch goal. And I'm like, are you that's a cool stretch goal. I don't even collect that shit. First of all, there's your retro Scarlet. Second of all, Glenda's fucking cool, man. So I understand that not everyone knows everything. Even the experts don't know everything. But it's when somebody doesn't know the difference between blowtorch and barbecue, or the difference between Flint and Lieutenant Falcon, but then turns around and talks endless shit. That's the problem right there. If you don't know, then you don't know. That's cool, right? Isn't that what your community is supposed to be for, people? That's what a community is there for, right? Lift each other up. But it's the shit talking that comes along with, you know, the inability to understand this stuff. That's the problem. But Figure Fight Club says internet is for hopes and dreams. I got nothing. I got nothing else. You guys got anything else?
I gotta head out of here for you. It's almost time for the kids to get to bed.
I got a bofa for you.
Ooh. Well, thank you.
Chad being behind. That's just how Chad rolls, and he makes things interesting. Appreciate that. I'm here for you guys. Ryan, what else you got? What do you got going on? What's coming up?
Wednesday, I got Ace coming on the channel to talk about the Musk. And what else? The vans are shipping right now. Going to talk about that. And he's got the licensed Gotcha Man. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with that at all, but
oh yeah.
And then
right
Saturday,
here, G-Force, baby. Gotcha Man. G-Force is Gotcha Man. That's what it is. So anyway. Sorry.
That's all good. And it's Saturday 3 POA. That's all I got.
Hooded Cobra Commander. No. No. Brian Lauer? Fuck no. I'm going to say no to that. I'm sorry.
Hey guys, help me pay for my trip.
3D Joe's is a wealth of information. Hooded Cobra Commander is 100% the two-faced fucking positivity police. 100%. With receipts. Yeah, he is not. No. Not even going to, I'm not even going to get into that.
I wonder if
we'll be here for another fucking hour. But
if I ask the fan base to pay for like all my conventions, like, look, guys, we don't have the money like to do the conventions. Can you like help fund our trips out there? Can someone help fly Ryan out to DFW? I wonder if that would be okay, and if people would do that, give me that money, and then what I'll do is I'll take that money, maybe do some toy shopping. I like it.
Sounds like a good deal for you,
right?
This is not the 3 POA, Mr. Aiken. Shush. Hey Ryan, when you have Ace on, I'm gonna pop in your chat and I'm gonna ask about where is my 1/18 scale machina, whatever you want to call it, and what's the status on V? Because I cannot wait to see until he does V.
Yeah, we can talk about that for sure.
Does Valver ship to Australia?
Sure do. We ship worldwide, baby.
Oh shit, son.
We ship worldwide. We got a nice map in the office that we pin all the countries that we've shipped to. We shipped to like 60 different countries. You know what else that map says? Gulf of America.
It does. I saw it.
Are they making those now?
No, he fucking didn't. You see the picture he sent us all where he fucking put the
yeah.
America.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
We're gonna fight, Hal Jordan. We're fucking fighting. You and I are gonna internet beef, dude.
Dude, look at that profile picture. Who was that?
Oh yeah, who is?
I don't know.
Hal Jordan, you should send me a message on Instagram and tell me who that person is in your picture there, and then we'll have internet beef.
Yeah,
you said fucking 3 POA of Temu, you motherfucker.
I like that.
Okay, one more. Oh snap! Sends a $5 super chat. Thank you very much, and says Blobby, were you serious about wanting to do Star Fox, or was that wink hinting at maybe some other line? I thought you don't go to space, dude.
I mean, if it's a space line though, that's already there.
Oh, yeah, okay,
then it's okay. Yeah, I was 100% serious about that. I love Star Fox. I'm not saying like I'm serious, like I'm gonna put in a ton of effort to, you know, go after it. I'm just saying it's like I would love to. You know, it's if I decide that it's something worth doing. But again, I have to like really think about it. You know, you want to, like I said in the video, it's like you got to make sure like it's a viable option to do. You know, because I don't know if it is.
Market research.
Market research. That's what you got to do, baby.
Yeah. What about Gulf Humans or Gulf of Shattered Windows? What about Gulf of You Need More Action Figures?
There's
No?
that.
Maybe? I don't know. All right, gentlemen, let's get the flock out of here. Bobby, you're our surprise guest, thanks to Ryan. I'm going to let you sign us out.
Why? Because then I get in trouble because I say something that someone gets offended by, and you know, and then before you know it, everyone hates me, and you know, I'm just trying to be super positive, guys. We all should just love each other, love toys, man, love toys. Like it's okay.
I still want to know who that freaking chick is on that thing. Okay, Ryan, you sign us out then.
Hey, everybody, why don't you go eat a whole bowl of... Then you end it right there so it looks cool.
Look, David just got here.
You just keep going. That's not a sign out now.
Dad, you ruined it.
I didn't ruin it.
Oh, man. Oh.
Can you do it again?
No.
Please?
Good night, everyone. Go eat a whole bowl of...
Chad, how insensitive of you.